And then the audio just disappears into the background for us. We are at session number 95, or Phase 3, Season 1, Episode 6. So it has been going for quite a while.
Mm.
And while it's 95, the first campaign is added on to, say, 188 sessions since the story started.
Wow.
Has been going for a little while. Okay, so online today we have Jeremy.
Oh, good evening all. I'm playing Dimitri Dimitrios, the Caldaran
There we go.
sage and wise man, always willing to provide insight and knowledge to those around him. Such generous with his wisdom and advice. He started out as a poor peasant boy, but has developed since then.
And so totally not related to the vampire lord of the setting. Or one of the gods.
Well, more importantly, definitely related or direct descendant of Halla himself, immortal of the Kelgar.
It's not that he tells people very often.
Well, it's not like he needs to. It's obvious as soon as anyone looks at him.
Then we have Mark, which is...
Hi.
Oh, that one.
I
That one.
play
Yep, that one.
Bradshaw, the dwarf fighter weapon master, or Bradshaw the brave, or Bradshaw the excellent lover, depends on which angle you want to look at it at.
That's
Obviously.
amusing because I don't think we have those titles written down. You might need to
Oh,
send
no,
them to me later.
this is all Bradshaw goes with now. He's happy with his own titles. He makes his own title up now. That's why he thinks. So, he's happy to be useful and helping Dr. Drozel out last session, and finally get to use his hammer into certain people that were definitely alive at the time and not just sit on the ground and possibly dead. But I did make a big difference and won the kill count for the session, so I'm happy.
Yeah, he took out a whole 16 adversaries in a couple of rounds.
That's all.
It's amazing. It was absolutely
Without
amazing.
a single one of them waking up to do anything.
Okay. All lying deathly still in their beds at the time.
No, that was
That's
just
right.
that was just his stealth roll. It was just that amazing.
Mm.
Yes, stealthy mithril armor
Okay.
is the best thing out.
You just didn't notice that all of them had been stabbed previously, but that was just beside the fact.
Yeah.
No sign of that at all. The head was all bashed in, so there's no sign of that anymore.
Oh, it's
Okay.
important to bash the head in because
That's
you
right.
have to worry about the
It proved that the hammer did all the work, nothing else. No other metal device that looks like a dagger of any sort, which daggers are not mentioned in the line of breath anyway.
Well, okay, then you should have. There wasn't any other metal device involved.
That's right. Over to you, man.
We also have a returning player who'll get back to us when he's gotten food. Just giving him a chance to speak up if he wanted to. Still getting food, so we'll go to the new player we have at the table who's coming to us with a new character. So you want to describe your character to everyone, and we have Angus, so
Yeah.
you get to know... I sometimes forget to say the person's name.
That's fair enough. So, Zadros, the total druid, he's so old he's kind of forgotten his own backstory. He just remembers having a huge existential crisis and staring up into space like, yeah, that's my jam.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Circle of Stars. Pretty kind of mellow, chill guy. Doesn't really have time for pompous people.
So you'll get on well with Bradshaw.
Mm.
But everybody likes to meet you, so that's okay.
Oh, I had to catch myself laughing a bit there. Sorry, Jerry. It's going to be so good tonight.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that comment in there, Mark.
Mm.
That made my night. I don't have to... Whatever happens the rest of the night, I'm good now. Thank you, Angus. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be starting the session with the Dragonborn who travels with them, known as Drazzle, he is one of the oldest Dragonborn they know, meaning he's about 12 years old. He was amongst the first Dragonborn born in the setting. And he dabbles in time travel.
Okay, so yes. Whilst we know that he might have been born about 12 years ago, we know he's existed for a hell of a lot longer.
And he does the equivalent of photobomb. And they've seen him show up in paintings where he wasn't in them previously.
Nice.
So party members get to notice the changes after they've happened. And going, but he wasn't in that previously. And he has done things to help the party, including rewind time on them when they completely screwed it up a couple of times. And sometimes he's told that in passing. Oh, you screwed this up a couple of times. Please get it right this time.
I can't fix all of your mistakes.
That's pretty much it. So, him lifting a hand outside of writing down what you're currently doing is very rare. So, he speaks up occasionally to give words of cryptic potential usefulness. Doesn't actually tell you what to do.
And also, sometimes he pops in with random new folks to join the team.
That he does, which he has a habit of pulling through space and time. So you might not actually know where you came from or what time it is now, because your character may have existed long before what's happening now, which would give a reason why you have no clue what you've just gotten yourself into.
Even better.
Which is the handiness of having someone who can travel through time with his travelling cart.
Nice.
He's got a back door on the cart, so think of it as a two-seated cart with a hood over the top, but it's open to the air, and on the back of it is a door almost as big as the cart.
Okay.
And that's normally locked, and occasionally he pulls people through it. Those he sends through it the other way rarely come back.
Okay.
He doesn't exactly say where they go either. So the storyline has it at the moment is that they have been dealing with the gods going a little crazy and causing a war. And the storyline is called Wrath of the Immortals. It's actually official published module. You can see the box up there above the Galantry one. It's a brown box.
Nice.
So it is a very old campaign. And it involves around a world war happening, which is why I've mentioned the war in a lot of different things that I say, and why the advertising for it has a war on there. Because it's not just a minor skirmish, and if one side or the other loses, it'll either be everything people know and have grown up with gets annihilated, or magic gets removed from the setting and all magical creatures die off, including turtles.
Fine. Existential threat, my favourite.
Well, it would be eventually, potentially in your character's lifetime, potentially not. But enough that owls and other long-lived races are going, no. So, do we have a David back from his food? No, not yet, so we'll get back to him in a moment. So, your characters are in... We do, okay. So, David, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Yes, I'm David. I play the undefeated champion of the world, never once been defeated in single combat. The great, the mighty, Ethengarian Horse Lord, Plum and Gorinal.
Okay, so if you can see on your screen there, I've got a new picture for Plum that I'm sure you'd approve of.
Hang on a second, I'll just...
But the weapon he's using doesn't look anything like a glaive, I'll tell you where Dimitri is.
Yeah, that's close enough.
He's got a treasured weapon.
I can tell you exactly where that weapon is, where the weapon is, Dimitri, and I dare say it might be in your person. And no, not on him.
I believe Jeremy has been missing those comments. So yeah, so
Just, there's one thing I didn't miss about D&D was Dimitri.
Everybody loves Dimitri, you know that.
Everybody loves to assault Dimitri.
okay, so your characters are in a repaired fortress that has been abandoned in the Alfheim forest. So a place where the elves have magically grown the trees to enormous size, and it's created pockets of bad magic. And inside this pocket of bad magic used to be a human settlement that a bunch of shadow elves has taken over. And then they got taken over by a group of blood elves. So the blood elves are the closest this setting has to drow, because they existed before the drow. And the shadow elves are not demon worshippers. They're technophile elves. So elves who have access to technology. Doesn't seem to work for anyone else though, but it works for them.
Okay.
The party has just finished saving the shadow elves from the blood elves. The blood elves are called blood elves because they ritually sacrifice any other race they come across. Which is probably not the easiest introduction to them. But I've just been told by their hosts that the blood elves were looking for something called the Moonstone, and it's believed that they have taken off with it, and it's supposed to be an artifact that helped create the original elven Moonblades, and that would have been about 5,000 to 6,000 years ago.
And I was trying to remember, Martin, according to the Shadow Elves, approximately how many blood elves had gone off? Like how many had taken over the castle for 12 months or so ago? And
it was about 20 of them that were here for
20,
most of the year, with a bunch of humans who got a little bit of attrition from the surrounding forests and then the party.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We don't talk about mercenaries anymore.
And you had been given a bunch of items that can help you.
Yeah.
So these are things that can go to new party members as well as existing. So if the person misses this session, well, they'll just have to re-grab the item later if they really want it. So the items that you were given specifically was, let me see if we go to that page. Yep, a Moonblade for the Klavik house of elves.
I think Callan claimed that, did he not?
He did, but he may not be here, so if someone wants to use that until then.
Okay, I've got it all down here, I think. I've got a mace, a heal mace, short bow, magical elven chainmail, shield of the green, and storm shield. Is that correct, mate?
So that was the Moonblade, the two bows, the quarter staff, the mace, and the two shields and the chainmail.
Does the shield of the green, is it made of metal or wood?
It is made of wood.
Okay.
And it actually serves as a holy symbol for a druid.
I want that shield. I can't make eye contact with any of you, but that Zadris needs that shield.
So which one, Mark? Which one was that one? The mace?
That was that was the Oath of the Green. It's a
Oh,
shield.
green.
Oh, yep, the green, yep. No one's got that one, so you can definitely grab that one.
Take that.
I believe Dimitri claimed or accepted the white-bowed staff that was a necromantic water staff or something?
There was, yep. The white staff.
White staff, okay.
Yep. It's,
Yeah. I think I was holding on to the mace for the paladin. There was a short bow, the elven chainmail, which is mithril from memory, and
So
a storm shield.
but there was a longbow as well, so there was a short bow and a longbow.
Oh, longbow. Okay.
Yes. The eagle eye bow was a longbow, and the antler bow was a short bow.
Okay. All good.
Okay, so you've also been given something called a Umbra silk cloak.
Yeah.
Which allows you to see in darkness. Which for some of you is quite useful if you don't have the ability to do so. And there are 6 of them.
Oh, 6 of those. Okay. Yeah.
There's also a helm for those of you who'd like to have a helmet.
Sorry, what was the name of the cloak? The
Umbra silk.
Umbra silk.
I will actually add it into the chat for you, which I can do once I find out where I hid all my stuff. Would I do that? Okay. So I'm going to add it into the messenger chat as well as the Discord. Mainly because I'm transferring between computers by putting it into Messenger. Okay. Come on, let me highlight. Okay. And then there's going to be a bunch of other items you can choose from, which I'll run through.
Cool.
Cool. I'm going to copy that into my list so I can have it ready. So, Martin had that. The staff was with Dimitri.
Okay, so the other items you have available to you is a helm, which I'm about to describe. So it's called a Cavalier's Helm that gives you bonuses in combat for the first round and increases your armor class. Does the dwarf want a new helm?
Or maybe the horse lord like a cavalier's helm.
Quite possibly.
Mm-hmm.
It is described as a bronze and leather helmet adorned with curved horns of polished ivory.
I mean, I'd love to replace the helm with the dagger slot in it, but I'll let people go first.
But that's your personal helm.
Honestly, I have no attachment to it right now, Jeremy. So
hang on, I'll get a dagger, that'll get an attachment.
Just for Angus, my character got told how he died. It was a dagger to the back of the head.
By a friend.
My helmet has a dagger slot, just perfect size for a dagger. And so this is why I have this consideration of this kind of stuff.
And he'd stated after that he didn't consider anyone else his friend until I said he was his only friend, and then he ended up stabbing himself in the head at one point.
That's how it works.
So he did actually have his prophecy fulfilled.
That's true. Then I came back to life somehow.
But he doesn't know if he actually died or not. Because magic was involved, and he doesn't trust magic.
Got a friend in me.
Welcome back.
Okay, so you've also been given a couple of items. So you've got a crossbow bolt +1, a single one. This is why I have two. Why I have more than one, because that's just a bag of holding. For those of you who'd like to carry extra stuff.
Well, Dimitri's happy to take it. It'll go well with the other two.
Another set of boots of elven kind.
I don't want to trade again. I think I've done enough trading with the blue silver.
Elven chain shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So even for a turtle, if they try to put on a pair of magic boots, will fit the turtle.
The boots will fit. Okay, because I was about to ask. I know I can't wear traditional armor because I already
Have armor.
I carry armor.
You're armoured.
I am armoured. I mean, if no one else is going to take them, boots of elven kind would be very helpful.
And then there are gloves of swimming and climbing.
I can already swim pretty well.
But can you climb?
I can fly.
Pearl of power.
Okay.
Is the Pearl of Power, is that a cleric thing over these days, or is that any magic?
I believe it is any magic.
Because like I said, we've gone through a few iterations over the years. I kind of wanted you to fit there. So.
Fifth ed.
But obviously, Dimitri will take care of it anyway.
So you have 3 potions of climbing. Two potions of cure wounds. And amusingly, even though they had potions of cure wounds, they also had potions of healing. So I'm not sure what the distinction between those two are. I think that's a typo. So there are 17 potions of healing, a single potion of heroism, and a single potion of invisibility.
Obviously, the Shadow Elves are not only feeling very generous to their sages, but they've also got all this random old magic stuff that's been sitting around for years that they've used anymore.
Well, these items are actually going to come from the person who's going to be asking for your assistance soon. It's just giving you a concept of what you get before you start with him. A ring of protection.
Oh, okay.
So 2 scrolls of cure wounds, a scroll of daylight, a scroll of detect poison and disease, a scroll of protection from evil and good, a scroll of locate object, 3 scrolls of sanctuary, a scroll of shield of faith, a scroll of silence.
I'll take that to just shut up, Dimitri. Thank you.
Well, I was going to say, obviously no one else can read, so therefore Dimitri might as well take it all.
I wanted to take it just in the case that I might be able to get it, sort of, yeah, so.
2 spiritual weapon scrolls, and a single word of recall that returns you to a chapel that you've been to. There is a magic shield +1. There is a signet ring for House Gullion, a staff of the woodlands, a stone of good luck, a weapon that is a +1 weapon, a weapon that is +1 that returns to you after you throw it, and a silvered weapon.
Unless of course it's in the hands of Bradshaw.
So the
Okay, my hammer does return right now, so I'm happy to leave that to somebody else.
Just going back to that
Right,
shield
Dimitri.
ring, was there anything else special about it apart from it can be used as a spellcasting focus?
It gives you a +1 to your armor class while
Yep.
you wear it, and wearing it doesn't actually mean wield it.
Okay, so I just have to carry it.
So if it's stuck on your back over your shield, it can still give you a bonus for your armor class.
Even better. Let me just adjust my...
Because the wording of it is while you wear this shield, not while you wield this shield. So unless they did a spelling mistake in there, you're in luck for the moment.
Perfect.
I'm pretty sure Martin was going to take the longbow, wasn't he?
He was, but not sure if he's going to make it.
Well, he was tossing up because of that, with how it was compared to his current bows, because he's at least got one or two good magic bows at the moment, so he was tossing up as to which was the most effective.
I'll take one that close in. I can see the dark, but I can't handy. Because everyone gets one of those.
Well, there are 6 of those cloaks.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the.
Can the dwarf see in the dark anyway?
I can. No, I got low light vision, but yeah. But is this kind of like low light vision or?
No. I said seeing the dark, not seeing low light.
Okay, dark vision.
The dark vision. Okay, that's pure. Yeah. Okay.
I stand corrected. I do not have dark vision. I could probably use it.
So I'll put down.
But Dimitri's got his goggles. He doesn't need the cloak.
Yes, none.
Well, hey, but he's possibly had to wear, or that he has got a new cloak that he can pick up his cloak at displacement. So,
I will point out that you need to be attuned to the cloak to get the dark vision, and as you have limited attunement slots, it does.
yeah, that's certainly likely because the goggles might use dark vision without attunement. So,
Yeah, I'm just looking at what I'm
you get
choosing.
better dark vision.
Yes, you do.
Okay. Oh.
So that.
But as a 11th level character, you have 5 attunement slots.
Okay. Perfect.
What color is the cloak?
What color is the bow? The eagle eye
The
bow,
cloak.
the cloak. The cloak is a sort of grey black.
So is it just a cloak of dark vision?
So while you're wearing it and you've got the hood down, no one can identify you.
Oh, okay, sorry, I thought that was the... Wait, is that the cloak that gives you dark vision? Sorry, is that the item that gives you dark vision?
It is.
It also does dark vision. So.
Well, I wouldn't mind that.
Well, there's enough for one for everybody.
Yeah.
There are 6
cool.
of them. It's the only one that you had multiples of. Okay, so while you're resting up after your exploits, saving the elves, and Bradshaw telling everyone the tale of how he slew the 2 rooms full of the guardsmen in a mighty battle.
That's right.
Because it gets bigger with every telling.
Oh, it was 5 rooms, yeah. And there were hundreds of elves.
So you are telling him you slew hundreds of elves?
I slow enemy elves, blood elves, not the actual other elves. I make sure I label that correctly.
Weren't they actually humans?
I was going to say no one corrects him and tells him that they were humans, but the story continues on about how he slew hundreds of elves.
Blood
Okay, right,
elves, elves, humans, no difference. Anyway, I'm a dwarf after all.
So you will notice that the elves are between 7 and 8 feet in height. Most of the humans top out at around between 4 and 5 feet in height. So there's a big difference between an elf and a human. Dwarves generally stop around the 4.5 to 4 feet in height. Total, you'd probably be maybe about the same height as a dwarf.
Okay.
Not known for their huge sizes.
Ew.
And the Dragonborn you have travelling with you is about 8 feet in height.
Great.
Still considered a medium creature. So you've got about a whole 4 feet of medium. Okay, so as you're telling the tale multiple times, you are brought to the attention of a dwarf coming into the keep. Which is a surprise considering you had heard that all the dwarves had been recalled home. It was basically a
Except for certain they weren't actually a dwarf and they could speak up to the king as a teenager.
Well, he was a teenager. He probably didn't consider himself under the you must come home requirement.
No. I ignore mum's messages. And I've got a wife that would say otherwise.
Yes. And one of his mum's messages was the goat he was riding was actually his brother, which he ignored for many seasons. Which was true, wasn't it, Mark?
I do not recall any me riding my brother anywhere. That is all rumor and never to be told ever again. Because people might look at Bradshaw a different way if that's the case.
But
Anyone who knows Bradshaw knows the truth.
So the dwarf who comes in has a bright red beard and mustache, but bald on top, carrying a hammer with a head almost as big as Bradshaw's head.
Oh, welcome, brother.
He looks you up and down and says, what do you want, youngling?
Oh, just welcome you do. What brings you here?
I've come seeking aid. I don't suppose you know anyone of experience.
Well, this, I hand around the people around me at the time. This motley crew of, we're quite good at fixing up things and doing missions and saving people.
As you're gesturing around, you see what appears to be a turtle get pulled out of the back of the cart. Still smoke pouring off him as he comes out.
Yes, like that. Thing over there too.
And you do recognise who's grabbed you. He's someone who you met while you were younger. And he said one day he'll introduce himself to you.
This is me.
The Dragonborn pulled him out of the cart.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Zadrus is going to basically fall flat on his face and kind of very gingerly get up. You still haven't given me your name.
Drazzle. He just nods at you.
Drazzle. Where? Just he looks around, looking more and more confused at the scene. Where is this?
He points down floor.
Chuckles to himself. Where is this floor? What plane am I on?
Not plain, forest.
I can work with that. He just kind of... He's accepted the fact he's not going to get a straight answer out of Drazzle.
Well, you got more of a straight answer than most of the party.
Even better.
Okay. Dimitri, obviously you don't know yet it's Dimitri, but it's a relatively tall human, but not particularly tall compared to actual human, with blonde skin and short, fiery red hair. Steps forward and says, "Hi, greetings. I'm Dimitri. I understand that travelling with the companion can be somewhat disorientating. Let me fill you in on details."
Traveling is one way to put it. At first I was there and now I'm here at Zadrus.
That's right.
Hang on, I must interrupt. First of all, Dimitri, I thought you were smart. It's disoriented, not disorientated. Second of all, have you tried killing your companion?
Just
Well, what I was going to go on back to say, you probably don't get a card like neither. Well, Plummer will certainly talk over the top, but the Dimitri doesn't actually stop talking when he says, I'll fill you in on the details."
And now it's time to play Guess the Class of the Characters.
Okay, so I will start off with Dimitri. Describe how Dimitri looks. And
honestly, I thought Martin was about to say, and now I'll get everybody to roll initiative.
It's not like I haven't done that before. That's how we started last night.
Admittedly, we were expecting it last night. Well, as I said, so the having had noticed Drazzle drag through another companion, presumably another
Turtle.
what he's looking for. I can't think what the word is, but basically a member of Rheddrians investigation bureau.
At this stage, your character hasn't got a clue what he's talking about.
Just smile and nod. Just
Yes, okay. He's okay. A well-dressed human. Okay. Fiery red hair, cut quite short these days. And okay. Certainly, he then talks at you, assuming you're stupid, because hey, you are compared to him as far as he's concerned. And absolutely know nothing whatsoever, and will effectively keep talking without pause until
Someone interrupts or stops him.
during other instructions.
Zadris is nodding at you in the same way that a grandparent who doesn't really understand what all these newfangled words you're saying is. He's just like, that's nice.
Well, that's right. Dimitri quite happily understands that no one really understands what he says. Even when he talks in nice simple words, quite easy.
Okay, then Drazzle introduces Bradshaw by saying, he points and says, Bradshaw.
Sure. Thanks, Seth Drazzle. I extend my hand out. You see a little stocky dwarf in mithril, chainmail, shield, warhammer. Typical dwarven fighter type kind of character.
Well, looks young for a dwarf.
Black hair, brown eyes.
Then type goes on with all
and I just, while I'm shaking your hand, I go, he never shuts up, you get used to it after a while.
So, what you'd know about dwarves of his age, he's technically on spring break, where he's a teenager and all dwarven teenagers are kicked out of the dwarven nation until they grow up.
Fair.
Inflicted upon the rest of the world.
Yeah, that's how you deal with irritable teenagers.
Then we have Plowman with David. Bradshaw basically, sorry, not Bradshaw. Drazzle points at the towering muscle of mass called Plowman and says, Plowman.
Yes. So before you is a leather-clad, well, a barely leather-clad human. He's quite. He's not that tall actually. He's under 6 feet. He is not
tall for a human.
Massive. Yeah. Look, he's tall for an Eldarian. He's not massive, but he is like you're talking your 2% body fat, typical green, bogged down, ridiculous nonsense. He has a large polearm of some descript at his back. Martin, where are we at the moment as well?
You're in the forest of Elfheim,
Okay, cool.
Which is south of Evinger.
Do I have my horse?
You do have your horse.
Holy shit, it's a miracle. Holy heck, it's a miracle. Behind him you see one of the most beautiful and massive horses you've ever seen in your life. It's indescribably large as far as, it's not unreasonably large, but it is just ridiculously large. Incredibly muscle-clad, and it's beautiful. There's no other way to put it. It is, it is so beautiful that you would think it wasn't of this world.
And it just happens to glare at doors and they open for it.
Nice.
Yeah. It doesn't have a whole bunch of equipment. Basically, this is a man who looks like he fights for a living and nothing else, and is definitely not a diplomat. And he looks at you and once again repeats, "You could just kill your companion. That's always option."
I could, but I find that killing one's companions after they've stranded you, and he kind of just gestures to all this, after they've brought you here, almost guarantees you don't return to where you once were.
Well, look, for enough money, I could go find him and kill him.
You do realize he's referring to Drazzle at this point.
No, it's fine. Drazzle is off. We'll just kill him. He does look around him to make sure that Drazzle isn't around or looking.
Drazzle is right beside him at this point.
Ah! Shit. Or of course you could opt with peace and, getting along with people. But if Drizzle has brought you here, you're supposed to be here. Don't say anything out loud. We can talk later.
Drizzle does whisper to Playman, Playman go backwards?
Look, I haven't been here in months, years. I don't know how long it's been. Let me disappear. I appear again. I'm back here. I don't know. Backwards, forwards, up, down. You go wherever you send me wherever you want. It's not as I have any choice, Commander.
He just pats you on the head like the nice puppy you are to him and moves onward to talk to your horse.
Yes, okay, you overgrown lizard.
Zadris is moving with him to also check out the horse.
Okay, so...
Just be careful. He bites. Hard. Don't make him angry. I'm scared.
Does your character know Celestial?
No.
Okay, so you see Drizzle and the horse having a very interesting discussion that you suspect all the words are actually nice words to hear, but from the two of these guys, it's not coming out nice. It's like,
Hey,
that's an uplifting sounding word, but the actual inflections and tones are just sounding harsh and hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, don't talk to him like that. What did you say?
Does Plowman know Celestial?
No.
Drizzle turns and looks back at you and says, talking about what Plowman's been doing.
I don't know what I've been doing.
He points to your horse and says, Regem does.
I know, because he's smarter than you or me.
Drizzle gives you a thumbs up. And then Drizzle points to the dwarf with the red hair and says, Mia. And goes back to talking to the horse. As this dwarf with the red hair is just looking at the crazy group of people. And turns to Bradshaw and says, so kid, are these the heroes you're talking about?
Yes, these are the heroes. And I'll introduce each of them. I even introduced Dimitri nicely, which probably worries Dimitri how nicely Bradshaw does it. I'll introduce the...
It's nice to see that Bradshaw actually understanding his place when he's been put in the centre of the elders. He's got a better understanding of his own place.
Don't push your luck on this one, by the way.
Man, one day Dimitri is going to get bitch slapped so hard.
I was that close to doing bitch before, but I held back. But we're in front of an elder dwarf, so I've got to help back a bit. Show restraint. So I introduce these characters and I talk about the great Plowman, horse whisperer,
He says he does know Plowman quite well. He's seen him fight.
Yep. And then I'll introduce the... Hey, sorry, your name again? I'm looking at Angus's character, and I go,
Did you say listen?
Oh, it takes a while for Bradshaw to understand names. It's okay. We're young, silly.
Takes a while for Bradshaw to understand anything.
Yeah, that's right. But he's our new recruit, but very recommended by Razzle. So we have others that will turn up a bit later. They're just indisposed at the moment.
Recruit is a strong word.
Okay, he tosses a bag at your feet and says, I need to hire a bunch of people willing to get their hands dirty.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Any objections here?
Well, Dimitri will pick up the bag and have a look at it. I'm assuming that's the bag of holding with all the stuff inside it.
That is correct.
Okay. Dimitri will start pulling out some of the items because I don't think he really look all that obviously just looking into the bag. Okay. Like, yeah. It appears to be a reasonable deposit for our services.
He looks at you shrewdly and says, so, how long does this gain your services for?
Well, depends what the service is required.
Requires travel into the Shadowlands.
Bit of off comes there. Could be easy.
Well, at least you're not a newbie to the underground. How about you, kid? He says to Bradshaw, have you travelled much underground and fought?
Yes,
You look a little too sunburnt for my liking for a dwarf.
I've been outdoors a bit recently, but I have travelled with my young age. I've travelled underground and seen lots of things. That's all I say. Not as experienced as you, sir, but
Well, he goes up to Plowman and says, well met, Plowman, and he uses Plowman's full title.
You know, it is good to see someone who understands, respect it. But, comment to you, sir.
He asks how your exploits on your horse have gone. He heard you had waged war with the Haldanic Knights recently.
Oh, it was so much fun. I killed so many. I even have a few heads back home. It's fantastic. Do you want? And I even got some pictures sketched of the pile of heads. Do you want to see?
He would love to hear it over the fire during the travels.
I like you can live.
So,
So when are you looking to conduct this trek to the Shadowlands?
have you got anything pressing later today?
Well, I believe, okay, someone else to confirm what the situation is, but yeah, so the understanding was that we were supposed to be trying to get off to catch these blood elves before they discovered the moonstone.
No one cares about blood elves. Let's go do this. This guy's much more fun than blood elves.
I'm just curious to confirm that was the original, or the thought post we had this morning after managing to liberate the Shadow Elves.
It was the thought process you were having, and he says that blood elves have taken the place where we're heading, so you'll get your fill of them before the end, he says.
Oh, spectacular.
see? What are you worried about, Dimitri? We'll get,
It says no need to negotiate when you get there, beat up whatever you find.
Oh,
I don't know. I had no concern about whether we were going to meet or not meet blood elves. It was the idea of catching up with the blood elves that had so rudely incarcerated our new friends here in this castle, and in fact possibly we're actually all down the way where we were, depending on exactly where Draggle's dragging people in.
Well,
you're actually still technically at the castle with the Shadow Elves.
You're technically at the castle with the Shadow Elves. You were about to head off.
Yeah.
And then you
Oh my
realise...
god, so much talking, let's go.
I know, you feel a little tear go down, Bradshaw's little eye now. I miss you, Plowman. And that's it.
Well, then you should have reloaded the crossbow and shot again.
That's fair call. While this conversation's going on, can I do I'm just going to get a once over on this new dwarf, just to feel if we're getting the full story, that's all. So,
he couldn't blow again. Hey, he already thrown his hammer away.
I ignored Dimitri and I tried to look over this dwarf, just make sure I feel that we're getting the full story here with the inside eye. So.
Okay.
But Dimitri, you ever heard you swallow your throat? Say those words. Have you ever heard your throat slip?
I need 14 months, so.
So, on your insight. So that means what you rolled a...
I rolled a 5 and I've used my charisma plus my +4 and that's why I got the 14.
So why charisma this time? Because it's normally wisdom, so you have to justify your other
wisdom
abilities.
is less than that, that'd be 11. So.
So okay, so with level up, it detaches the skills, but if you're using anything but the base one, you generally have to justify how that's happening. Otherwise, it just defaults back.
Yeah.
So that means, yes, looking him over, you don't really recognize his clan markings, but he does look like what you remember the Forge Masters look like.
I'm fanboying it. And as much as a dwarf can fanboy, I'm fanboying right.
And so the Forge Masters can actually tell the king what to do.
Oh, no. I'm still fanboying as a dwarf. It's good to see another dwarf around, that's all.
And he even has...
Oh, get your hand off it.
My hands are out.
We all know Bradshaw prefers gnomes these days.
Says he will lead you to the ruins known as Kelgar Keep in the borderlands between Durrican and Rockholm. And before you manage to clear it out, you should have earned whatever you find 10 times over.
I like this guy. I agree as semi-leader of this party to move forward.
He just pats you on the shoulder and says, that's nice, we better hear from the person in charge, he says, looking up Plowman.
Just raise your hand if you think you're in charge. Literally every party.
Hey, Dimitri did not raise his hand at that point.
But Dimitri knows he's in charge.
Well, but also, because Dimitri actually walked away a bit to talk to the leader of the Catalogs to discuss the fact that yes, it would appear that our services are required more urgently elsewhere. Now that you've got your defences reset effectively and your folk are fairly recovered, it is likely you'll be able to take on the small band of elves to recover your moonstone yourself.
Well, our sages have said it's gone. It has been taken by the Blood Elves to the east. He doesn't know where.
Jeremy, does Dimitri wear a helm, or is he wearing a helm right now?
No, not yet.
Okay, never mind.
You can't throw a hammer at him from across the room.
No, it's just going to bounce the metal off his head, man.
Just for my thinking, so the borderland between Darrican and Rockholm would be east of us, correct?
It is that. That is correct. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's actually considering the power where we're going, we may still be on the trail of the Moonstone then on your behalf, but obviously it is worth defending, and you may find it worthwhile to send out patrol to see if you can catch the Blood Elves unaware as they caught you unaware 12 months ago.
We shall try, but we need to keep our existence here as quiet as possible. We prefer it if you not tell others of our residence here.
Not another soul.
Okay, Dimitri is always well known as the soul of discretion, and he's able to keep many secrets.
Jeremy, is Dimitri wearing any metal at all?
Metal? Unlikely. But
unless it's a dagger.
Aside from particularly some jewellery and bracelets and things like that.
Yeah, no, never mind. I just wanted that satisfying ting.
No, there wouldn't be anything.
I'll just have to concern myself with a very wet thud.
Okay, so as you see the dwarves having a heated discussion with Bradshaw about where's Bradshaw's education gotten up to yet? Has he actually gone through the trials of adulthood and returned to Rockholm?
I talk about my current history and where I live at the moment.
Oh, so you're that teenage bride, he says.
Martin, I just need to interrupt briefly.
Yeah.
If at any point Plumman perceives that Bradshaw is being made fun of or being insulted, I would like to interrupt.
You have a feeling that he's just being blunt because the status of Bradshaw is as a youth in his society means that the dwarf doesn't uses the words he would get if he was at home.
That's fine. If they look like they're insulting or if they sound like they're insulting Bradshaw, we're giving you great, but I'd just like to interrupt.
And it's up to Bradshaw if he finds them insulting.
No, it's up to Plumman.
Bradshaw respects this new dwarf, but if he feels he gets insulting, I will stand up for myself a little bit, but won't mention any names that I can't live with. I respect. I know where the triggers would be, and I explain, where I've come from, what I've done in the past, and explain that I'm currently benching with Drazel, and explain that we've got many things to do, and haven't been able to head back to Rockhome recently to finalise my, I suppose, if you want to call it move to adulthood, and...
Well, he's still a few years away from that because he started a young...
That's fair. But I've experienced a lot in the outside world, and I will be able when I head back, but at the stage, and yes, I married when I was quite young, bit of a teenage kind of... I was a bit of a teenage heartthrob in the day, but... I don't mention who I'm married to or anything like that, I just mention I'm married. So.
Well, he does mention to you that he made the rings for your ceremony.
Oh, did he? I'll leave 30 knows every fucking thing. So.
Yeah. And he says, he tugs your beard a little bit, he says, when this grows out fully, you'll definitely be a strong-looking adult in the society.
Thank you, sir.
No, strong-looking.
And I just have to put up with certain humans that are in our group at the moment.
Oh, that's okay. By the time you're an adult, most of them will have died off, won't they? He says, looking at Dimitri.
I will wait my turn. That's fine.
Plumman interrupts just briefly. One can only hope.
Not talking about you, Plumman, trust me.
Oh no, I fully understand. We're on the same page here. I will happily die, and I will happily die knowing that eventually one day that idiot will also die.
Yeah.
The only difference is I will die loved, and he will die hated.
Yes. But yes, we would like to help you in your adventure and help. If I can help out Rockhome in any sort of way with this, I'm happy to do that as long as it...
Well, this isn't for Rockhome, this is for him.
I don't know, but if you are heading back to Rockhome after this, I'm not sure if you are or not. Because I know the dwarf...
And we've all discovered that apparently you've gained the services of an expert blood elf killer.
Yes, he heard the story of 100 blood elves taken down single-handedly in one night by you. He'd like to see that in action, he says. It will be an amazing tale to repeat at your confirmation.
Oh, yes, definitely.
We'll be able to just wander along behind and collect our payment.
Yes, I'll definitely, 100%. And look, excuse me, I need to look at the fire. I walk off, and when I look in the other direction, I go, can you breathe in our hands like that?
Okay, so he does turn to the rest of you and say he's seeking retribution on some blood elves for damage to a dwarven keep. So he's not looking for prisoners or survivors.
Well, that's appropriate. The only good scat elf is a dead scat elf.
Yes, they don't take prisoners either, so he doesn't see the need why he should.
Were there any people injured or only the keep?
Everything in the keep was executed.
I will avenge them.
So the blood elves, if they capture you, ritually sacrifice you.
Got it.
So they don't have prisoners either. Just participants.
That's not entirely true. We've actually just liberated all these fellow elves. from the enclavement of the cat and elves.
The difference is the elves are less likely to ritually murder those that they might use for other means, and I believe they were trying to keep these elves for their technology. Which the Blood Elves have been denied.
There wasn't justification, but can't go with gross generalizations. There's always exceptions.
He looks at Plum and says, "So this is why you'll be happy one day."
Sorry, I just got distracted. What was going on?
Thank you, nice old friend. The dwarf looked at Plum and said, "Next one, please."
Oh, no, don't worry, you can, it's really easy to fix. Here, take these pebbles. Whenever he's doing something important, just throw it at his head. It works every time.
Yes.
I must speak up. I say Warhammers are good as well, if pebbles are not available.
I don't want to kill him, it's kind of useful.
Oh, no, it's just a slight dent. Nothing more than that.
Okay. But yeah, not poking holes in the idiots. He's useful.
So, do all of you have mounts, or do you use magic to get around? He says, looking at the at Dimitri again with a shudder.
Oh, he's got both at the same time. It's all.
My legs are failing me. Magic is my go-to these days. Though not much use
We
getting
did
somewhere.
lead our mounts just a short way out of
something
town
about
out near
trees
the
there.
chapel.
Well, there are trees all through Alfheim, but I don't know trees personally because I generally use them for kindling.
Then I have no help to you in travel.
I've got my mount with me right now.
Just need a horse.
I mean, in fact, probably we probably did have an mount ready because we'll just about to depart and head out, weren't we? So we probably already been to the chapel, collected the mounts, and come back to the castle.
So you can see a giant goat with a saddle and a overly large Clydesdale that almost matches the celestial horse you see here as well. Just that the other two animals just don't feel right.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So if we're Joe, I almost certainly have at least one of the mares. I've forgotten exactly. I don't really know because I know I have the 5, so I've got the 3 that are over his father's place, and I usually take the other 2 with me.
Yep.
But I don't know what's been happening recently as to whether it's just more convenient to only have your jam on.
I'm happy for you to have brought the other 2 along. There's always useful to have pack animals, and you may even have a bunch of Plowman supporters.
Oh, yeah.
As in your fan group who go around trying to help you in every shape and form.
Yeah. I used to be really enthusiastic about those guys.
But theoretically, you're now at level 11 in our level where you do have followers actually following you around.
Yeah, look, I've got a level 5 barbarian horse, so I'm not really too worried about that.
So yes, you can either ride a horse from the steppes or sit on the wagon with Druzzle.
Well, yes, you can also... Sorry. Plum looks at him and says, wait, so you can't walk very well, you rely on magic and you don't really have a horse. Not the best foresight, but, I mean, look, you throw out your address, I can understand. You're quite welcome to ride one of my horses. I have spares.
Thank you. I'm gonna hobble over to the nearest horse. Just gently kind of pat it, see if it'll accept me to ride it.
It doesn't bite you, which is a surprise from Plumman's horses.
Yeah, look, so these two mares are also incredible examples of horses, but they are not anywhere near as horrifying as Rheddrian.
Mm-hmm.
I slowly approach the goat when we're ready to leave.
Just
Provide me apples. And that's not Bruce. Bruce is now a human.
Oh yeah, Bruce is your brother. That's awkward. You didn't read him from the curse for so long. Oh, you're the worst brother ever.
Yeah, we've got over that. He's gone back home right now.
I would too. I would love to hang around you.
This is that's
before after you put a fire up his ass and threw it out of boat.
I say in the nice way, this is a special mount for Dr. Drazzle that I've got. This is my new goat.
Does it does it commit war crimes as well?
I cannot say that.
It nods behind you. It's basically listening to Plum and nods in an enthusiastic way.
Plum looks at the grass behind the goat.
Yep.
Is it still alive?
The grass,
so it's not as bad as Bruce.
but you can see the ground has been all clawed up around its hooves.
Oh, that's just cool. Wait,
I
is
can't
this a demon?
It nods enthusiastically again.
It's a friend of Drazzle's, that's all I'm going to say. And I say it in a way that I can give you as much hints as possible without saying the word out loud.
Why do you have a demon goat?
It's not a demon goat, it's a goat with special powers.
It's a goat, but he's also a demon.
No, Dr. Drazzle, can you explain it for me?
He points and says, "Goat."
Goat, see? It's a goat.
Yeah, demon goat. Okay.
And he points at you and says, "Horse."
That kind of okay. To be
Yes,
it's all
definitely.
Of course, you're currently seeing horse scratch itself on its back
points
with
to
its
it
rear.
and says, "Yes, and you're only a dragon wolf."
The leg's not moving the way a normal leg moves.
And neither
That's what has demon boots.
Weirdest
I'm
thing
I'll tell him later about the whole thing. I'll tell you later about the whole thing. Next camp. So,
I'm scared.
when we camp next, I'll tell you everything about the camp. You've been away for a while. Oh, you do. And I slowly, gently get on my goat, not trying to upset it in any sort of way.
That's okay. In the middle of you trying to slowly get up, it grabs you by the back of your collar, elongates its neck around and drops you on its back, and then shrinks its neck back down again.
Yeah.
Plum gets over again really quickly.
I mount my horse.
Mind out of the gutter, Mark.
I've been very. I'll let people find out what it is we're being for.
Hey, new friend. So she likes apples.
He does. Oh, this officer after this for Angus, yeah.
So what equipment has Zathos come with?
Zathos has come with his shell.
That's what I thought.
His shell, a staff, and that's about it.
He was in the middle of getting ready for the day when he left everything behind.
Okay. Dimitri, having a look at the staff that you're carrying, does it appear to be anything more than a nice wooden walking stick?
It is most of it looks like a nice wooden walking stick, except at the top there is about a fist-size uncut blue gem that sparkles ever so slightly, and if you glare at it long enough, there seems to be almost like a starry effect to it.
It's okay, Dimitri is a magic user. He has a staff, so he's okay. He doesn't need anything, right? He doesn't even need to eat.
Well, no, it was just amongst the deposit that our friend here has provided was a nice staff that I was thinking that
Staff with
sounds like quite interested in, but okay, he's obviously already well equipped.
Plum throws a small satchel at Angus and says, "There's apples in there to make some food for you too. Also," he throws a water skin at your head. "You might need this too."
Grabs the pouch and completely misses the water skin. And climbs down from the horse to go.
No, it's alright. You catch the water sid. You just catch it with your face. I see. So he's with the front line kind of guy.
No.
Looks can be deceiving.
They prefer water. But the horse would like being wet.
Yes.
I tried to feed apples to my goat, and its head turns around, can't pick up the apple, and takes Ginkgo. So.
What the hell?
Yeah, its head just sort of rotates in place and takes the apple from you while you're in the middle of pulling it out.
So Bradshaw
screams at children sound as the head turns back in the same direction. It doesn't turn back in the way it came. It just continues on. It does a full 360.
It does.
The souls of long dead children just scream at you.
It's okay, I'll tell you later. If you get a look of like concern by Plowman going, it's okay, it's been improved by Drazzle.
I don't know that we will survive.
Plumber knows about Drazzle's horse.
I think he does.
Yeah, it's all cooked. Yeah, no, if it's to do with Drazzle, it's cooked.
Fair.
You may remember the horse, I don't know if you can, it's been a while, so yeah.
No, I remember the horse. The horse is cooked.
Yeah. Oh, definitely is cooked, I know that. But I'm not bad my brother anymore, so it's okay. I don't feel as bad now.
So you do find that the horses are skittish around both the horsing cart and the goat.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't like riding near them.
Okay. Can I kind of like try to settle the horse, or is it like no,
Yeah, good
don't go
luck.
near that thing?
It doesn't. It sort of fights to be not near it.
Okay.
So yes, you can sort of force it there.
But it's
Not going
easier
to
just
force
to
it there.
allow them to be waiting for something to be around.
Okay.
Yeah, if you try and force that horse to do something it doesn't want, Regem will start staring at you.
Good
Which
to
can
know.
be the other horse.
Yeah.
And the horses are smart enough to undo their own saddles while the rider's still inside.
Helpful. For the comedy.
Oh no,
Yeah,
they
I
are
had a
smart
brother who
horses.
did that once. Sad that, yeah.
They also had the highest
that was
kill
when
count
he
in the
turned
party
into
for
a
a while.
Nice.
He actually worked dwarf, thank you, not a human. Remember that?
Okay, so yes, you
You're a
start out.
wolf? I just thought you were short and ugly.
I just look with a stunned look right now. It's like, I didn't expect that from Plowman. I thought we had built up a better relationship. And if I
Yeah,
just smile,
we've got a great relationship.
You do hear over the
I
back,
just-
That's why Plumber's confident you can call Bradshaw short and ugly.
so Micah calls out, you should remember that he has married a assassin wife.
I have not forgotten that. Hey, that's fine.
He says, Plowman would do well to respect the choice of the wife, even if you belittle the actual person himself.
Oh, no, the wife's fine. No problems with wife call, my friends. So sit down to me. It's just a choice husband. He's a little bit questionable.
Did our real dwarf companion have a horse?
No. He just hits the ground and a earth creature just rises up underneath him.
Okay.
you hear from Bradshaw just in not in a loud voice, but a, oh my god, that is so cool kind of thing.
Yeah, Plumber looks at Dimitri and is just like, what the hell?
I go, that is cool.
And it looks like he's got this really comfy seat on there that he just puts his hammer down beside him, and the ground just moves him while he's sitting on it.
Nice.
Wait, you can make rocks? We can make so many of Dimitri.
Says he is an earth shaper.
Oh my god, we're going to have so much fun. He's going to nightmares for years.
As a dwarf, I would know about their shapes, wouldn't I?
You would. They basically are the dwarfs who can reshape the rock around them.
Yeah. While we ride, I'll explain to Dimitri all about Earth Shapers on the journey. Okay.
Dimitri's not going to let you do that.
Not Demetrius, right? No, not Demetrius.
Dimitri will quite happily accept the explanation. He'll correct you on all the faults and mistakes and information.
I'm not talking to Demetrius, I'm going to talk to Clarence. I meant Clarence, I apologize.
Thank you.
I'll explain Clarence. He's pretty cool, and I explain how cool he is, and I might put a bit of fanboy kind of sayings in at the same time. But yeah.
Oh, no. You don't get it. What we can get him to do is to create tiny rock spiders, and they will crawl all over Dimitri to wake him up. He will have so many nightmares.
So cool. And halfway through the journey, I'll go up there. Can you create rock spiders? And he's probably overheard the conversation while we're riding along anyway.
He says, wouldn't it be funnier to bury him in his sleep?
Oh, that is so cool. I said,
No, we want to horrify, not scare.
so many ideas here.
He says back in his day when he was a youngling like you, he did bury his team leader underground a couple of times.
No, yeah, the player is horrified. The character, yeah.
Michael?
Also, Angus, I do apologise. I am the death of progress in any campaign.
Alright.
But here's the...
Sorry, Martin. What was the dwarf name again?
Mika. So, sorry, M-I-A-H. But for some reason I keep saying K because you're going to Kelgar Keep. So there's K's in there, just not in his name.
Okay,
so Mia.
Or Mia.
Mia will do. He starts leading you south towards the Great Road along the edge of the Alfheim Forest. He recommends you not tell any dwarfs where you're going because, well, to be honest, they're needed elsewhere.
I understand.
Well, all the real dwarf got recalled. So
all the adults did, yes, he said.
I'll start asking questions about his what he got up to when he was young and just get a bit more knowledge on my great dwarf friend here.
Well, he tells you about how he once traversed the world and entered a land with a red sun and spent some time there learning the ways of the past.
Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if I'll look at, we did a little bit of ourselves kind of thing, I think to ourselves, or the future. But, okay. And, I'll just like to just listen to these stories because, hey, always learn off a dwarf. Junior dwarf learns off senior dwarf, I'm okay with that.
So, what you pick up from that is that this setting has an inner world, which they call the Hollow World, which has its own sun. But as the sun's in the very center of the world, where the world's core should be, it is always on, and it's a red sun. Okay. So anytime you hear people talking about red suns, they're talking about the inner sun, and people who live there joke about to newcomers to that region, can you be on watch until sundown or things like that. Put things relating to the movements of the sun because they've learnt to play practical jokes on people.
Nice.
The party did promise to stand watch until sundown on their first day there.
Yes, I remember that. I remember my first time there. So if he talks about that, I'll talk about my journey there and back.
Dimitri will fill in gunfire comedy cards, the Hollow World is really interested. But obviously, from Dimitri's perspective, comment to the place that, well, yes. It's an interesting place to visit. But you really don't want to go there twice, or 3 times, or more.
He says he's been there more than times he can choose to count, as he's a regular at the Great Library there.
The Great Library is one redeeming feature, indeed. Well, not one redeeming, but close to one. There's also quite a enlightened civilization down there in the Minos that understand how the world works.
Yes, they seem to want to worship a fallen idol, he says.
Only those folks worthy.
Well, they're worshipping someone who never became a god while they were alive. But he was a great king at one point. He did meet the dwarves that were, because they're not related to the dwarves that are. Did you meet those while you were there, he asks.
I know Brad probably didn't.
I don't think we came across the dwarves in the time we've been there yet, have we?
You did not. He describes them as great nomad riders of large horses, much like that which Druzzle has.
No. The greatest beasts that we were riding down there were significantly larger than horses.
These horses had large horns, much like your goat, and were sturdy enough to take to take on most creatures by themselves.
From the descriptions of them, what way he's describing them, does Dimitri interpret them as actually like the dinosaurs, Triceratops or something that we come across while we're down there? Or we're still talking?
What it sounds like is a cross between a draft horse and a deer with the deer horns, or an elk with horns. More like a deer with the pointed horns than an elk with the curved out horns.
Yeah, no, that's right. But yes, Dimitri will say,
Their species died out on the outside world with the dwarves that ride them.
Yeah.
They predated they predated Rockholm.
They're kind of like a impressive beast, but I feel that they do not have anything on the ancient lizards that also roam down there that some had trained and ridden.
He laughs and says that was mainly the human thing to ride those things.
Absolutely.
The giant hairy elephants were a sight to behold, as were the giant lizards with teeth and feathers.
Yes, the mammoths were certainly they made transport across the vast plains of Nithia. Nithia, was it?
Nithia, yes.
It was Nithia, somewhat more enjoyable because, hey, you could see further with lots of nothingness.
And as the world curved up in front of you, it was a lot easier to see to the far, into the distance. And he does say that those beasts can be found on the Isle of Dawn if you ever journey deep into its depths, which is between Alphatia and Thyatis.
Oh, okay. I had heard rumours also that they potentially resided down on one of the large islands to the south, the Isle of Dread.
The lizards, yes. The mastodons, no.
Uh-huh.
But as we're travelling, I had been told that you were in possession of a clear gem.
Well, like I said, the library was not the only highlight for the whole world.
By chance, do you know where the other gems are?
They've not come across my path. I've not yet had the opportunity to look for them or provide dedicated time towards their recovery, but it's on my list of my to-do list. Have you heard yourself rumours, or do you have other information?
He has himself found the gem of matter.
Uh-huh.
In his many travels. Which means
you there now, or have you stored that elsewhere?
He has it in a safe place, but unfortunately bringing together the gem of matter and the gem of thought might cause a few problems, as they oppose each other.
I was going to say, certainly at least not until we can potentially draw all five together at once. But, okay, I will be most interested in discussing the properties that you've discovered so far.
It enhances his connection to earth and to the land around him.
And it appears you obviously already demonstrate significant connection to the Earth, so it is good to see that that particular shard has found you.
Each one finds a person suited to its nature. As caretaker. The gods do not want them combined or brought together.
Yes, but well, the Immortals may not know best at the present time. But
They are currently distracted with their petty arguments, he says. Emphasis on the word petty.
Fair.
and to be yes, petty indeed for some of them.
Zadrus is just gonna like bring his horse up a little bit closer. He's very clearly been like eavesdropping on this, picking up like a few things he recognizes, but most of this is just like, alright, this is nothing like my world. My time.
Well, you remember the coast, and you remember lots of tribesmen, and basically being honoured by the people for who you are, as well as what you can do. So you always felt home in civilization, and the civilization you know is not around here because they never touched metal.
Yeah.
Metal was something your entire civilization shunned. You're not really sure why, but it was just nicer that way.
Sure it was.
So as you're riding along, you realise that while you think you were only going a short amount, you can actually see the city of Salonika coming up in front of you, having been there before, and you know that it was about 5 days' travel from where you went into the forest.
Travels, wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey bullshit.
No, it's the Earth.
Well, no, I suspect it's more a case of mere earth wobbly, tiny, wibbly wobbly, earthy. Bullshit.
The earthy-worthy stuff, okay.
Yeah, thanks for that.
The sturdy, earthy stuff.
More, I suspect more likely, yes. Okay, Dimitri will make the comment of, yes, well, travel is certainly much easier with you, Mia.
Why walk the entire world when you can move through it, he says.
It does save time.
Through it.
Were you paying attention, he says, as he's looking, as he turns around and looks at you?
Rarely.
In which case, you're probably wiser than you know.
Smiles at that.
As you see a largest city you've ever seen in your life before you, sounds of hundreds of thousands of people. You're used to a village of about 1,000. The noise is almost deafening from about a mile out.
Zadrus is kind of just looking out and like starstruck, kind of struggling a bit to comprehend this level of civilization. Almost like not believing what he's perceiving. He's kind of like sticks his finger in one of his ears to try and like get rid of the noise. He's like, are you hearing that as well? That, I can't think.
Says, yes, laddie, that is the sound of many humans speaking.
I hate it.
As do I. Even in your advanced age, he says, I'm sure that you've never come across as confusing a beast as humans combined together into one annoying noise. They have no rhythm. They have yes, they have no rhythm. They have no order. They just exist. He turns to Bradshaw and says, "What do you think of this rebel of humanity?" He says, pointing at the city.
I think the elder races, and when I say elder races, I say non-human races, seem to have a better understanding of what we need to do than some of these other machines. Humans seem to want to live for their time, not for the longevity.
Well, they have such a short time on this world.
I know, but I think that's a detriment. I'm only a young dwarf. I haven't experienced as much as you have, but that's my view.
Something that just occurred to me as a player,
Yep.
but obviously Demetrius was well aware of, coming up to Salonika reminded me, thought, hey, Demetrius might just aim to pop in and send a message back by the night we were in to pass on that we completed the other task and found the creatures. Which made me come to think, what do we do with the captive elves, like the family members that have been kidnapped? Have they returned?
No, you left them behind. I think you'll have to leave that to the Shadow Elves to help you, hopefully.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a...
You may have made an agreement with them to get them safely to the road.
Just to be clear, in the case of the way after confirming that we weren't going for the Moonstone, the intent was to get the kidnapped children and things like that back to their families. But because they're actually all elven families, they're probably mostly an elf home anyway, are they?
They are, yes.
Yeah. So, yeah, he will have discussed or confirmed with the Shadow Elves that can arrange for their return.
They are more than happy to arrange for their safe return.
And obviously, Demetrius will be probably thinking, presumably they'll have some way of ensuring the kids don't actually talk about where they've been and who they've seen.
Well, they've only seen Blood Elves and Stonework, so they might not have actually seen the Shadow Elves.
Okay. Anyway, if the Shadow Elves are confident they can return the kids, or they're willing to return, or they say they can return the kids, then Demetrius happy enough that it's sorted from his perspective, but he will then aim to do like a
There is. As you come up, you see a familiar face standing out front, waving to you. A halfling with flowing red hair and more knives on her than you could imagine someone actually needing. And has what appears to be a rose lapel on, and looks meaningfully towards the dwarf on the goat.
Well, okay, this is outside Salonika still?
This is at the Knights River Inn, which is on the outskirts of Salonika.
Oh, okay, right, okay. So we don't have to go into Salonika to get the Knights River anyway. That's fine.
Red hair, was it?
Yep, a halfling with red hair.
Someone you should recognise.
Who has a rose-shaped lapel and a lot of knives on her.
Oh. You said a half-elf or halfling?
Halfling.
Halfling.
Oh, halfling, yeah. Well, that's, I didn't know a half-elf red hair. Sorry, I didn't hear that. I thought it said half-elf. I go, give me a second, guys. I make a quick detour, and...
Okay, I'm expecting that it's an appropriate place to spend the night. We can send contact back through to Rheddrians.
And as Bradshaw detours, he finds out that the rest of the party detoured as well, because this is where they were heading.
That's right.
That's how much Bradshaw was not paying attention.
Bradshaw was still, yeah. I, get off the go, just, park it away and then give her a big hug and kiss and, hey, I missed you so much.
She gives you a affection in return.
Okay.
And says, well, she only ever punishes you when you've done wrong by her. And she asks, have you done wrong by me?
Whoa, what kind of punishment are you thinking about? I look at her with a gleaming thing in my eye.
She pulls out one of her daggers.
Oh, much you.
Oh, sorry, I thought you meant other punishment. Gotcha. Okay.
Oh, stop! No! Oh. Hey, rock boy, I need the rock right now.
A rock the size of your head lands in your hand.
Excellent. Keep talking, short stuff.
Oh, no, I haven't done that. No, I'm doing this. How you been anyway? How's things been on the your business?
Business has been good.
Good. Okay.
I've had no complaints from any of my subjects.
That's good. That's good. You're just on way to another job.
No, I've been working out of here since the wedding, and Rheddrian's been happy to let me use the upper floor. Apparently, the inn has been the quietest it's ever been, and no one's been bothering it.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Fair.
I could also work in the kitchen, wouldn't you? If I have the upper floor.
I know her brother works in the kitchen.
Oh, right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. Your brother. Yes. How is he these days? Okay.
Hasn't killed anyone in weeks. He's very upset.
I can understand that. So, hey, I suppose I should catch up with you. I haven't seen your brother for a while as well, and the family. So, I'll just let these guys know I'm going to spend some time with you till we have to head off. And
well, my brother did say he was going to. He did say he was going to teach you how to cook.
So what you're saying is you're going to come into the inn where we've already settled down to say that you're spending the night here?
Well, I was going to be away from you guys. You can do your own thing while I take my... I didn't think you want to hang around. Yeah. From what I remember, you didn't get along with my missus, so I didn't want to go there. So...
No. You can certainly get your own room in the inn, but we're in the inn.
Yeah, no, but she's got the upstairs portion, so we'll stay upstairs. We have lots of catching up to do. So...
And Bradshaw gets to prepare the meal for everyone that night.
Do I?
Yes.
But isn't your brother cooking?
He promised he would teach you how to cook, so you're up.
Okay. Just that's cool. And I'll whisper sorry to Plowman as much as I can, and then I'll go back in the kitchen and help out, and hopefully it doesn't take too long. So.
Okay, so there's lots of banging, clanging, and screams of pain coming from the kitchen.
I thought we might be getting a good meal this evening. Oh, well.
No, we get both. We get dinner and the show.
Yes, but I'll say the meal I'm sure will not be nearly as satisfactory as it would have been otherwise.
Oh, come on. Surely you haven't enhanced victuals.
Zadrus is just gonna lean over to Plowman. It's like, if it's inedible, I have Goodberry.
Why do you guys all have Goodberry? It's so boring. Enhanced victuals, they're so much better to sell.
Goodberry is helpful if you get, say, pulled through a portal by a dragon without all of your supplies.
Well, that's great, but I gave you food. You have food now. You just need me. That's all you have to need is me. That's all anyone needs.
Drazzle opens his bag and pulls out what looks to be a leg of elk and drops it on the table.
Raw or cooked?
Raw. And so Plowman's had a big one.
Here.
I know you'd approve of that. I made sure it didn't happen in the other game. So, as you're sitting down to eat and relax and hearing the commotion coming from the kitchen, was Dimitri contacting Rheddrian?
Well, presumably it would be Colin and Dimitri who would contact Rheddrian.
Yep.
Or, actually, the case of, obviously, because Colin got the staff. But I also figure that we can certainly leave a message for Rheddrian to get sent through the portal while we're here, but yeah, I would think it's likely that we can take the opportunity to contact Rheddrian if he's available.
And Rosie also acts as the go-between from the inn at Salonika to get to Rheddrian if you want to leave messages that get sent afterwards.
Yeah. Well, either that or with the half-orc. Half-orc behind the bar still?
Half-orc is still behind the bar.
Yeah, okay.
He's still got most of his fingers.
But yeah. So we will pass on to Rheddrian what we found, and let's go. Dimitri will certainly quite happily discuss the fact that, oh yes, it appears that the dead magic zones around within L5 actually relate to the technology of the Shadow Elves, and that it was Blood Elves that were Captain Elves that were involved in the kidnapping of the family members, who should all now be on their way back to their respective families. And we've now been heading off to investigate another incursion of Captain Elves near the border of, just beyond the border into Rockhold.
Okay. You expect to get a response back later on as you've left the message?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, so yes,
Dimitri also aimed to leave a message for Kluel to let him know that, hey, this is a place you might want to visit at some point.
it is. So yes, you end up with a really nice meal with a bandaged dwarf joining you.
Still not serving.
Apparently he trembled too much as he was carrying food that they felt pity on him.
Yeah.
Well, the main chef doesn't want the food wasted.
Just another thing that the Bradshaw can't do.
Bradshaw did this. He cooked this. Just it took a bit longer than usual. That's all.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the ability to serve because you're trembling too much.
I'm not trembling. I was more. I don't know. I don't think trembling would be the thing. It's more just a bit
Fatigue.
Sort of tight.
Okay, so you end up with a really interestingly flavored meal that does seem to have meat in it, but it is a spicier meal than most of you are used to. Not a hot spice, just a different spice. You can't pick where the flavor comes from.
Zadris is very quiet and just like, get it down, get it down, get it down. Keep it down.
I know what's in it, don't I?
Jar A, Bowl B. The chef didn't actually tell you what the ingredients were, just which ingredients to use.
Okay. When I asked, I got swacked, is that right?
Yes.
Yes, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
He's teaching you how to prepare food, not which ingredients to use.
Oh, no, that's Bradshaw's quite understanding how the product works.
So you spent part of the evening skinning various rabbits and having to redo a couple of them.
Okay. All good.
So yes, it was a delicious rabbit stew that didn't taste like rabbit.
Okay.
Morning comes around, unless you want to do something overnight. And
I would say that I got a bit of energy back after the meal, and then I'll be much more sore in the morning.
And Dimitri has a note saying, find out what you can about where the Blood Elves have gone and report back. He suspects that the shard you're following has gone there and that it may be able to undo the magic that created the moon blades if misused.
Okay.
Which Dimitri interprets as would bring down all the elven houses.
Yeah, okay. Not entirely a bad thing, but potentially a bit disruptive, so possibly to be avoided.
Well, the elven houses do keep all the elves in line.
Indeed.
It's the
Well,
one tradition they follow.
Okay, of course, it won't be a problem if they lose all their trees, so that's okay. But,
Except you know the shadow elves also follow the elven houses, as do the blood elves, who don't have trees.
mm-hmm. But that's right. Dimitri's perfectly happy to go forward with what he's planning on doing anyway. So.
And he did ask if you needed any assistance.
Well, assuming we're conversing by this moment, I guess the end result of that, like Dimitri will send a reply before we depart to say that it seems that the companions that Gregor has brought along should suffice for the current situation as far as we're aware.
Okay. So yes, you head off north from Salonika, seeing the great elven forest off to the left as you come heading out, with the sun rising in the east. You can see part of the moon rising as it's heading towards 3/4. Actually, it's heading towards the quarter moon. And being the season that it's in is... Which season is it? Just confirming that for you. So, yeah, it's still spring. It's still a green moon. So each season, the moon changes colour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the moon you can see anyway.
Yeah.
Not looking at the stars, you know that there is a second moon.
Okay.
Okay, so as you start heading out north, you're told that you will be traversing past where civilization is. Is there anything you want to take with you before you go? Your guide, Mia, says.
It would be some of the part of the discussion on the previous time would be it would be the idea of exactly how long we expected to travel in order to reach track the peak or something.
Says you should reach it by nightfall.
Martin, are we allowed to leave anything behind?
You are allowed to leave whatever you wish in the Rheddrians Inn, because you can pick that up from any other inn.
Yeah, climb the stairs to Dimitri.
Particularly, if it's only a day's travel away, then I don't see much requirement to pick up new supplies.
This may take you a week to get back, though, he says.
We'll deal with that when we come.
With the coming of the sun, he will make sure that you travel quickly.
Are you not expecting to return with us?
He plans to see through making sure that the Blood Elves do not return.
So your intent is to continue down the depths?
Yeah, chase them back home so they never come here again, he says.
Good.
So this time he, when he does his moving chair, he gives himself a table so he can prepare some food while he's traveling. When you got magic, what would you do?
Why not? Keep going.
Okay, so as you're traveling, I will give each of you a perception roll
Okay.
to see what you notice.
Dirty 20.
Oh crap! Nice.
Well, I'll ask Jeremy, what did he get?
Dimitri's obviously distracted by conversations with Mia about where we go, what we're going into, what's coming up. He got a total of 14.
How about Bradshaw?
22, please.
And how about Plowman?
Sucked in Bradshaw, 23.
That's okay. If it was Dimitri, I'll be upset with it, but it's not. Thank you, man.
Okay, so Bradshaw and Plowman are realizing that you're probably moving about 10 times your normal speed as the area around you is just moving so fast.
Plum looks to the Rocky Dwarf friend and is a little bit scared.
And you also notice about midday as you're traveling that a large human keep was in front of you and then behind you in a blink of an eye.
A large human what, sorry?
A large human keep. So fortress that protects it.
Yeah, right.
That you hear is about a day's ride from the actual place. You pass it in a couple of hours.
That's not disturbing at all.
Okay. No. If I do I feel that it's all? Do I feel like do I notice any difference with our new dwarven friend at all in any sort of way when this happens or?
Well, he does seem to have a map out on the table while he's preparing food and stuff, looking at various charts he has. So he seems to be guiding you to a specific place.
I think you certainly aiming to be, maintain a conversation with Mia to determine exactly where we are headed and where we're going to end up. So, particularly if it's going to take, if he's not coming back with us, it's important to know where we're starting from, so we know what to do.
I'll happily give my goat an extra 2 apples because I think it's doing a really good job.
Okay, so about halfway during the riding, your goat just stops moving and sits down, enjoying the apples, and you realise that the goat's travelling at the same speed as everyone else while sitting down.
I look at Plowman.
Mounts aren't really moving.
Plowman knows this doesn't.
Sorry, what happened? My apologies.
So my goat decided to sit down and I was still travelling pretty fast. And I'm just going, looking at Plowman just to see if Plowman's horse is actually moving or sat down as well.
Yeah, the Plowman points to the other dwarf and just shrugs.
So
Okay.
all the horse's legs are moving, just that they're not effectively moving.
That's okay. I give the goat a head scratch. So.
It's a nice hard feeling as you scratch your goat's head.
I know. I'm fully aware of this. I'm getting used to it. Not a typical goat, I know.
So,
And you hear the goat purr nicely to the arm scratch.
That's right. You did a good job today. Well worked.
And then not long after you hear it snoring, everyone hears the goat start to snore as you're travelling at breakneck speed.
Well,
Yes. Dimitri realizes that you're using a land stride ability, which means that a spellcaster can actually move you across the land just without you having to do anything yourselves.
and so, as I say, in Dimitri's conversation with Mia, do we get to find out exactly where this crag-like heap is?
You do. I shall actually bring up a map for you. Where are my things? Darkened map. Okay, so you guys were here. Each one of those little hexes there is 8 mile.
Yep.
So you travelled from there to there in a day.
Wow.
which is about 5 full days travel.
Mm-hmm.
And you passed that in half a day, so you're ending up somewhere around here. So, Jeremy, directly up from Fort Hobart, there is a cross set of swords just across the Dwarven border.
Yep.
That's roughly where you're heading to.
That's where we're headed for. Yep. No problem.
He does say it's slower moving going through the hills than it was along the road.
Well, that's normal.
Well, he didn't want to accidentally leave someone behind if he went through the hill. He's done that in the past. But he does tell you that this keep was built nearly 300 years ago as a outpost by the dwarves to put it simply, try to keep those pointy-eared tree lovers in line so that they wouldn't come and cause any difficulties for them.
It's certainly worth maintaining one's own boundaries. Borders.
Yes, he says they spend far too much time staring at nothing and far little time actually doing stuff for his liking.
And Demetri will say that with the aspect of having just come from a town of ancient Kelgar that has been overrun by said trees. He certainly recognises that one must keep an eye on one's borders.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so coming up to the end of the day, you find yourself on a path between the mountains. You're not really sure when the mountains appeared, but as the sun started to set, the mountains were just there. And Mia says we should walk from here.
Well, I feel the horses should be well rested.
Can we ride through the mountains, or must we go ahead on foot?
Well, ahead of us, about 2-3 miles, lies Craiglore Keep. And while he has a rough idea of the lay of the land around it, he has not been there in over 250 years.
Okay.
So what he remembers and what is there may be different.
Okay.
While he dislikes the idea, does any of you have an ability to fly? Because he doesn't like the idea of leaving the surface of the world. And scout out the area ahead, considering you do have some wibbly wobbly magic using people amongst you.
Well, Zadros is a druid, so I think I'm going to suggest I'll fly ahead, and unless there's any objections, Zadros will wild shape into an eagle and start soaring off ahead.
Okay.
You know, I've never seen a druid actually go into waterfall before. That's weird. Cool, but weird.
It's okay, Plummet. I'll tell him that you prefer Al to talk to.
So Plummet throws a head-sized rock that he's holding in his hand with Demetri. Let me just grab the dice roller. What's your essay?
AC 17.
Is that a strength?
It would be a strength, but you're not proficient in it, so you just get to add your strength bonus to the roll.
He misses. It's pretty heavy.
You hear this thump near Demetri as a big rock lands nearby. So for play's perspective, the first creature that David's character actually did speak to animals with was an owl. who was a druid stuck in wild shape form, and would not shut up once he started talking to him. So we vowed never to talk to an animal again using speak with animal.
Except horses. Horses are fine. Don't ruin that one.
Well, hey, horses are people as far as Plumman's concerned. They're not animals.
No.
Plumman might have noticed, in the same way that he tends to notice all the pebbles, the rock did actually veer slightly as part of the process. Like, obviously, it was never going to hit Dimitri, but it did also veer slightly in the pathway when it hit the arcane ward.
So you get sparkly lights.
Obviously, it has slightly more visible effect than the pebbles that obviously don't actually reach Dimitri when he throws them.
Flamen runs his finger up and down one of his throwing axes.
Okay, so flying up ahead, you see that the areas in front of you once used to be a woodland area in the amongst the valley, and looks like recently a majority of the trees have been cut down.
Okay.
And the ground itself looks like it is dying.
Okay. Is there anything else of note that I can get from...
Right in the center of all this death and destruction is a square keep sitting up, like a tumor coming out of the ground.
Okay. I think I'm going to fly in for a bit of a closer look at that keep.
As you fly in closer, you see featherless birds with basically pterodactyls resting on the outer walls of the keep, looking up in your direction.
I'm going to abort and fly back to the party.
And as you're aborting, you do notice that most of these guys have saddles on them.
Okay.
But they are impressive sized creatures. They look to be about, I would say about, with their wings extended, they can reach their wings out about 30 feet.
Oh, okay.
And they could easily carry about 4 to 6 people each.
4 to 6 people each. Okay.
Okay, so takes you not long to fly back to the others.
I'm going to land much more gracefully than I did coming out of the portal, on my feet this time, and recount that the keep is a cancerous stain upon the land around it. The earth beneath it has been sullied. The trees around it have all been cut down and desecrated, and report the flying lizards that I spotted upon the battlements.
Which Dimitri recognizes as the mounts of the Blood Elves.
Yeah. Okay, so there are more drakes there, and these are actually the flying lizards, aren't they?
They are the pterodactyl style lizards, yes.
Yeah, that's right.
So where's the bathroom?
So on the other side of this wall, you'll see a laundry for light on. There's a sliding door in there.
Okay.
When you're finished, just make sure you close the sliding door. Oh yes, you find that the keep is about 1,000 feet from any cover, with a road leading up to it that you believe once may have been a stream. But now it's the closest thing the place has to a road, and either side of it is tree stumps.
Yeah.
And there's no grass anywhere within range of the keep besides the within the shadow of the keep itself.
Did Guthorpe say how many lizards he saw on the battlements?
About 20. Which basically fits into the number of them you saw out at the keep with the Shadow Elves.
Yeah. And yeah, okay, so what we should the current working theory for what we do from the Shadow Elves understood is that we are expecting, or potentially we are following the Blood Elves that had actually taken over them.
Yep.
When they went to search for the Moonstone, and whilst initially we thought the Moonstone was only close to the Shadow Elf, like still part of the same blighted magic area within Elfheim, it now thinks that potentially they have to go a lot further afield to get to this Moonstone. Is that the thought process?
Well, you think they've
Or
already
possibly
recovered
that
it?
they've collected the Moonstone quickly and now they've taken it back to Craglar Keep.
You believe they've already recovered it and taken it back to the keep
Yeah.
because they had a lot of planning they were doing before you arrived,
Yeah.
and it looks as if they were in the process of wrapping up what they were doing there.
Yeah.
So they may have actually recovered it before you got to the keep.
Yeah, I'm happy with that sort of process. And so looking towards Mia, he'll explain, like, well, it appears that the most recent inhabitants of this keep, until recently, were just were in Elfheim. Is it your understanding that the Shadow Elves, so the Blood Elves have been holding this keep for a long time, or merely this keep provides an access point to get down towards their realm?
He believes they took the keep in the last year. Maybe they took it 2 years. It's a bit hard to tell because he wasn't in constant contact with his family here. Just that they have not responded to his latest requests. And he did not recognize the beasts that were on the battlements when he spied it from afar.
But obviously, yes, he's got no particular knowledge or understanding or awareness of types of numbers that might have taken the keep at the time. Presumably, he thinks it would have been abandoned for 300 years. But yes, it is potentially that we are only here limited to 20 here, and they only use the keep intermittently. Staging point for other activities.
He believes that the keep itself can lead to the Shadowlands.
Yeah.
It was one of the dwarven access points to the surface.
Yeah.
Which is why
okay. Well, I suspect that a stealthy approach would be advantageous, although likely ineffectual. But that doesn't mean we should not attempt to get as close as we can before being spotted.
he does say he can use the earth to move you there. But he can't guarantee that it won't be detected by the corrupted elves.
Looking around the area where we are right now, is there a convenient or sheltered area, a small cave or something type stuff that we might leave for horses?
There is, and you can even have the cave closed over more to stop people being able to get in if you wish it.
Back of 13, that yeah.
That would be advantageous, although obviously we don't necessarily want the don't close it over so much that it'll be difficult to get in if for whatever reason you're not with us, i.e. you've continued to go down into the depths and we come out. So.
He says he's sure that your dwarven lad Bradshaw should be able to clear the way for you to get the horses out. Just requires a bit of elbow grease, he says.
Well, he wasn't able to recover a earthfall caused by his mount in the most recent experience after he went through an underground tunnel, but I guess he didn't have a lot of opportunity and time to do it. So.
Was he actually working on the tunnel himself, or was his mount doing so?
Well, no. His mount collapsed it, and Bradshaw felt that he couldn't get back through.
He does say you should never trust dragons. They covet everything, he says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I tend to find, particularly with the younger dragons, sometimes they don't know their own size and strength.
Says drakes in particular are a little short-sighted, he says, in their long-term plans.
Well, drakes also, I would not insult dragons by referring to drakes in the same breath.
And what was Mark going to say?
No. He's digging his own grave. I'm digging out.
Dimitri's perfectly happy with where the conversation went.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'm just hoping my mouth and I'm nowhere near the conversation.
Oh, right.
That's what I'm... Look, as I said,
you made the Bradshaw digging his own grave.
Bradshaw knows that if the Mount has an issue with Dimitri, that I'm not going to get in between the Mount and Dimitri. So, just say, I'll sit back, offer the whatever we're cooking on the barbecue, share it with Clown and sit back and watch, I think. So, and then I might say, okay, that's enough, he's doing good enough. So, but, so we possibly can go underneath the ground to get there, or we can, because there's no point, sounds like there's no point trying to do a front entrance to this castle. Was there any back entrance or anything like that we could use as was there any other entrance to the castle that the, Maya? Is it Maya?
Maya, yes.
That's what the one scouted.
Yeah.
But Maya says the entrance he normally used was underground.
Okay, well, we're happy to try that out first, and then... Because that would surprise them more than trying to come to the front door. Even the Great Plowman and Bradshaw would definitely make a dent, but...
Unless, of course, they recognise or note the use of magic, earth magic, in the area.
Yeah.
Well, he does say the only entrance he knows to under the keep, besides the keep itself, is on the other side of the mountains.
Oh. So it's a fairly long entrance, isn't it?
It is the outermost point of the Dwarven Tunnel network, he says.
Okay.
They don't have other points in, and they always barricade and make it impossible for people to sneak into it from the nearby regions.
Okay.
Basically, from what I've heard, from what I understood of or heard back about Bradshaw's recent interaction with the King of the Dwarves, I'm not entirely certain he'd be welcome amongst the tunnels of the dwarves within Rockholm.
Welcome is probably no, I wouldn't say it's a fully don't come through. There might be some questions asked, but on safe holds with me, I would probably get okay, thumbs up, I'd say. But I think if that's going to cause problems for Rockholm, then we want to make sure this is not involve them as much. So
but he also says that if you enter Rockholm now, you'll be signing up for war with the Dwarven King.
Yeah, point taken. So I think we definitely need to go. Okay, so it looks like we need to.
He recommends a strategy from your land-loving friends, surface-loving friends. He says because he's used to fighting underground more than he is above the surface.
Okay, I'll look at Plowman. So, what's your recommendation here, Clement?
I don't care, it's too much messing around. You know me, I'm here to hit things and break things.
So we charge right in, kill everything on the way, and then make sure everything's good.
What else do I do?
That's true. I do like that
Look,
idea.
just between you and me, I challenged the giant guy and I should have died, but I somehow got away with it. That wasn't the smartest thing in the world to do, so don't look at me for strategy. You come up with it, I'll make it happen.
I'll look over at you.
Dimitri didn't hear me say that, right?
No. He had nothing at all.
You do hear a scratching from behind you as Dressel's writing your words into the book.
Oh, don't. Yeah, it must be nice to be this immortal time warrior guy who just goes wherever he wants and does whatever he wants. One day you're going to get sledgehammered in the face for being smart.
Dressel already had hammer, not fun.
I'll talk to our new turtle friend and say, hey, I've got your name already, Angus. Yeah, Angus is your character name. Send me one session. I'll get it next week. I'll just go, so, any suggestions?
Unfortunately, Angus went to the bathroom and missed most of this, so...
I guess so. Basically, the dwarf, our dwarf friend scouted the place out. He said there was underground...
No. That was scout the place out.
Okay,
Yeah.
But Mia was already aware of undergrounding.
Yeah.
But suggested that they are not particularly appropriate for the party, particularly after Dimitri had told Mia what he'd heard about Bradshaw's interaction with the king.
Well, the underground entrances that he knows how to get to is where the keep is, or in Rockholm on the other side of the mountains. So that there are no tunnels that lead out from there because this is not a mining colony; it's a defensive port.
Yeah.
So far the idea has been charge right in and kill everything on the way, and that's it so far.
How many people have we actually got to the party at the present time?
Besides those waiting with the horses, you have about, well, you have the four of you, plus Drezel.
4 against how many elves? Approximately?
At least 20 riders, not counting the rest of the troops that can fit on those creatures. So you could be up to about
100.
Mia says, "Oh, so it sounds like there's about 100 blood elves. You'll have this whipped in a couple of moments, won't you, lad?" He says, "Like you did back in the castle." Shall we just sit back and wait?
Yes, that's yes. It's a different. We did sneak up on the way, but this way we might just make it a little bit harder for us to take them.
Dimitri was going to mention the fact that yes, I believe for that tactic to work again, we'll have to catch them unawares.
Well, you didn't challenge them. That makes your story a little less appealing for your confirmation.
Sorry. Did I miss out on that? I apologise.
I believe it got mentioned that they were all in a deathly sleep at the time.
Was it? I can't remember that.
What magic was involved? You said.
No, I wasn't wearing any magic. Maybe if someone did magic and didn't tell me about it, maybe. I look at Dimitri with a skull kind of thing, so...
Dimitri made no comment about magic. Dimitri really accepted the fact that yes, they all appeared to be a deathly sleep.
He looks at Dimitri and says, "Are you telling me that they were dead before the dwarf attacked them?"
I'm sure the dwarf never lied about his exploits.
I saw movement, I say that.
Was that your own movement, he asks?
No, definitely movement. Now, if you put the roll inside check, you can technically roll inside check. But I'm going on, I'm pretty sure I saw movement. Now, whether it's twitching, I don't know.
Well,
okay.
Or whether it was the fact that you were working by a lantern light with a flickering light.
Okay, so I'm going to give Mark, you can have a check to see if you can lie to him.
Deception, eh?
Yeah.
Fun. Okay.
So you do get to add a whole 5 points to it, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, but this is my dice rolling.
I know.
No. That's a 16 total.
Okay, he looks at you and says, "Really? Maybe we should leave that story off your confirmation," he says.
Oh, we've got other stories. I'm sure we could use other stories. I say that.
Have you got any stories that a
No,
adult can
This is
stand
not
up
time for stories,
and...
we need actions now. Not time for stories anymore. Actions.
Well, he'd be happy to stand up and say everything he witnesses.
Oh, yes, I think let's leave the story after this, what we do here today.
Sure, he
And
says.
then, so we can charge in, there's 20 riders plus whatever's in there. We can't go underground.
Technically, we've got 7 people we're trying to get in. Is that right?
Yes, roughly.
Or,
Like in the section, we've got 5 PCs, and Dragul and Mia.
Yep.
I could try and stealth us in.
What do you forget that can stealth you?
Pass without trace.
That means that people won't be able to track you. Doesn't stop you from being
I
seen.
thought it obscured you with a cloud of smoke.
Right, he's bringing out the pocket sand.
Just
we could turn Plowman and Bradshaw into Mount Mice inside the keep and then kill them from inside. No, that won't work. Bradshaw's in the ideas now.
Like, I'll walk into a mouse
Veil
trap
of
if
shadows
that's the
and
case.
silence.
So I think they've changed it slightly from the other ones.
Oh,
'Cause
okay.
if you use D&D Beyond, you're actually playing D&D 1 already.
Oh, okay.
That's what they don't tell people.
Yeah. I've got the old one, but that's alright.
So yes, well, it gives you an hour. It does mean that you should be able to actually make it there. All you have to do is burn your leaf or mistletoe and a sprig of spruce, and then you can cast your spell. Normally you don't carry around burnt stuff with you.
No.
However,
I don't
if
have any
you try
with me
using,
because I got Drake.
if you try using the staff that Tamika was thinking might be handy for you, then
They're not consumed,
you
so
can-
can I just use my spellcasting focus?
You can. Let's look up the version I have, because you might have some more information,
Sure.
which might actually give you better abilities.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Generally take what gives you the better effect.
Okay, cool.
Pass without trace. Okay, it is a little bit better because it gives you advantage on stealth plus what they call an expertise dice.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone gets a bonus to actually move through there. And if you're not trained in stealth or have any bonuses with stealth, you get to add a d4 to your final result, whichever's higher of the two d20s. But if you end up with a lot of skill in there, you can add a d8 to whichever's the best one. Okay. So Jeremy, yes, he can technically give you an hour's worth of movement to get you to the keep without being seen.
without being seen, or without just with a good, better chance of not being seen?
Well, everyone gets a dexterity stealth check on getting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who already has advantage will upgrade their expertise dice.
Mm-hmm. Because Dimitri can effectively hold invisibility on 3 people. And Krellin and Dimitri probably, well, he knows that Krellin and Dimitri can probably get away without invisibility, because, hey, naturally stealthy enough.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, a pass without trace would also be advantageous on top of that. So I would think that it's a case.
Well, the invisibility just makes you not able to be seen, whereas the pass without trace provides you with bonuses to your stealth. So if what you're going through doesn't require sight to find you, pass without trace is superior.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Thanks. But the idea being that pass without trace will affect the entire party. But then the ones who are more likely to stumble around, naturally walk in the open, as opposed to take advantage of the small cover of the stumps and things like that, and invisibility on them will enhance their potential of actually getting close without being seen. Absolutely, it's not the only way they might be spotted, but it's part of the thought process.
Wrong dice.
So we're all going to roll stealth checks. Is that what you're saying, Mike?
Who am I forgetting at the moment? 'Cause,
Everyone gets to make stealth checks.
Okay.
Wow, this won't go well.
Well, my armor doesn't give me disadvantage, which is a good thing.
okay, so invisibility will be on
Is that with advantage or just flat roll?
Plummet
advantage?
and
No, I don't know. Well, there's probably a more
God, that's
need.
even worse.
And
I
you
don't wear armor.
You get to roll a d4 and add it to the result,
Okay.
whichever's the highest one,
Okay.
and add your dex bonus if you have it, or stealth if you have it. So how'd you go with yours, David?
16.
16's pretty good.
8.
So the person who's providing you is apparently stomping his way there. Yeah. Well, I'm thinking I'm missing someone in my head. Because basically I'm talking about, I've got invisibility for 3 people, Plummet, Bradshaw, and then I was tossing up between Mia or Zathos, but I'm probably going to go for Zathos. I figure Mia probably still move through Earth.
There is our paladin who I don't know if he's coming back or not, so I'll have to chase him up.
And then Crowlin, Dimitri, and Mia. And so the paladin was the 7th I was thinking of, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, in fact, actually, knowing, looking at the turtle and remembering the grace with which he came through the gateway, Dimitri will go for Bradshaw, Zathos, and Penetrative for invisibility,
Mm-hmm.
and then Pike without trace from Turtle will help us as we're just playing stealth carefully there.
Okay. So what was Dimitri's stealth? Does Dimitri already have advantage for stealth?
He does.
Then he gets to roll a d6 to his expertise dice.
Another d6, okay.
So the d6 is added to your
To the d20?
yeah, to the d20, whichever's highest of the advantage.
Yeah. 27 for Dimitri.
He is stealthy.
Yeah.
Okay, and the Drezel traveling with you.
Drezel was the 7th that I had in my head because I hadn't thought of Penetrative originally, that's why.
Okay, so you don't even hear him either.
But thank you. Drezel's easy to forget because people often don't actually notice he's there. So.
Well, he specializes in stealth. That's one of his specialties. Moving quietly is his specialty in stealth movement.
Yeah.
That's why he always sneaks up on people. So yes, I will get everyone to make a wisdom saving throw as you're passing through the area.
Okey-dokey.
22.
22. How about Jeremy?
Oh, plumbing. Oh, plumbing.
21 for Dimitri.
And Plumman?
Well, it's not a 1.
It's twice as good.
It's 5.
It's 5. Okay, and how about Bradshaw?
Well, Bradshaw got a 9 for stealth, and he got exactly the same number for the wisdom save. So.
Okay, so as most of you are walking along, you realise that both Plumman and Bradshaw are staring at the pretty lights around you as they're walking.
Look at the lights.
You all realise that they've both been charmed by the sparkly lights that you've seen on the ground as you'll be walking through quietly.
Reds, aren't they gorgeous?
They are
The
good.
reds reminds me of the blood of all of the fallen Hellenic knights.
It reminds me of my wife's beautiful ladies.
You can,
That's good.
you can admire the pretty lights quietly.
What? Shut up! I'm lighting the lights.
Yes, me too. I'm looking at. There was like the diamonds I've seen in the Dwarven Lights.
Oh, you're so lame.
Drazzle helps Bradshaw by slapping him across the face.
Oh.
A successful slap across the face, apparently.
Oh, the blue reminds
Okay,
me
so,
of the faces of the men I murdered by strangling them to death.
After taking 15 points of bludgeoning damage from the slap, you are no longer charmed.
15 points from a slap.
Yep.
The greens, oh goodness.
Well, your face is smaller than his palm.
Well, that's
I
true.
once saw the stomach contents of a man come out in the same color green.
He will try to help Plum in the same way. But misses.
I am too good.
He suggests Bradshaw try.
Okay, so it's an arm roll, I assume.
Yep.
That's a 17.
Oh, right, I've got to check that down.
What's your AC these days?
You know, I don't wear any armor. So. 18? No, hang on, wait, my apologies. Yep, 18.
I miss you here, like a gust of wind.
That
wind reminds me of
Drizzle
the
turns to
smell
the turtle
of
and says,
fallen theatre.
try?
Murdered.
Alright. There's a chance I roll a 0 on this, which would be really funny. No, it's a 3.
It's another one.
Oh. Just...
So you've got a giant mountain of a man who is completely enraptured by the pretty lights. And I'm going to assume that it's an armor, it's the constitution element of his armor that is making you not miss, but hit him, but not hit him anywhere hard enough for him to even notice.
Okay, so Drazzle loses his temper and grabs Plumman by the front and lifts him up and starts shaking him around.
After Dimitri had said you can admire the pretty lights in silence, assuming we've effectively stopped while I was doing that,
Yep.
Dimitri would like to add the idea that Plummer says quiet time and admire the pretty lights. Dimitri will go for making it quiet and put a silence around effectively Bradshaw and Plummer.
That works. And
So
then
while Draggle's then hitting some sense into them, at least they're still remain quiet.
okay, so Plumman finds himself coming back to his senses while suspended in the air by Drazzle's fist. And being shaken around to shake you out of the daze.
Thank you, sir. I'm really glad that all of you missed because I was getting like I literally had the D20 to roll to hit you back. And I'll be honest, I really didn't want to hit Drazzle. I really didn't.
Fair.
Planet sort of snaps to it and realizes that Drazzle's holding him up. Says, "Oh, well, thank you." Someone cast a spell on me. I don't believe it. With someone's confused.
And then as you're talking, you realise your voice is making no sound. You've lost your voice.
Oh no.
And
You're all hearing Bliman's internal monologue at this point. Oh no. I can't talk? How am I going to tell Dimitri to shut up?
I look at his scared face and I'm trying to talk and I just can't talk either. I look at him and go, the whole gist that I have the same problem.
Bliman throws a pebble at Dimitri's head.
Okay, you get to do it with disadvantage because you're still being shaken around as Drazzle's still trying to shake you out of your daze.
Yep, hang on. 16.
Yeah, 16.
It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. It's more the exercise of making sure that he's still able to throw a pebble at Dimitri's head.
And once you're throwing the pedal, Drazzle puts you down and pats you on the head and gives you a thumbs up. And then continues on as if nothing happened.
Bliman is wondering whether he's gone deaf or whether it's just quiet.
It's definitely quiet. You're about to be attacked from any direction.
Actually, I do apologise. I've just realised Dimitri can't cast silence.
You know what's really cool? It happened anyway.
Well, in which case then we've lost the invisibility.
Even better.
No. It was a spectral force. It was Bliman's guardian angel casting silence. Actually, in truth, Dimitri just did some proper Jedi mind trick and just convinced us through mundane methods that we need to be absolutely silent and that we can't talk.
Well, the problem is that Dimitri stopped talking, so therefore Planet and Bradshaw assumed they'd gone deaf and they wanted to talk.
I'll go with that one. Yeah, I'll agree with it.
Okay, so yes, you find...
Something really bad is happening. Isn't Dimitri stopping talking as one of the signs of the apocalypse?
Or
It
the
is.
fact that he's being stealthy.
Or something
He's
shiny.
actually doing some sort of combat action.
But the only other time you've seen Dimitri quiet is when something shiny has distracted him, or someone's praising him. Neither of those happen very often.
Everybody's praising him all the time.
Because, of course, when he's stealthy, you don't see him.
Sounds like a great time to be alive. No one can notice Dimitri? Oh, thank goodness. That's actually how his stealth checks work. He doesn't actually hide. He just stops talking, and everybody is so thankful that he stops talking that they don't actually acknowledge that he's there.
I agree with that 100%. I'll back that up. Yeah.
Okay, so you find yourself at the edge of the ruins of the keep. Great blocks of this keep have been ripped down. You can see up on the what's remaining of the battlements the 20 birds, well, reptiles. Bit hard to tell because they're sort of a bit in between. Sitting there looking up into the sky, sunning themselves. As it's coming into sunset.
Do we have an apparent entrance to this keep, or...?
Well, looking at it, you think you can actually walk in through part of the keep because the walls themselves have been shattered, even though the stairs go all the way up. It goes up about 40 feet, but the insides of the keep have been destroyed.
I don't know that I'm getting a correct picture in my head.
Okay, so the keep itself is about 60 feet by 60 feet.
Yeah.
In the center is a stairwell that goes up about 40 feet. the walls themselves are jagged and go up about the 40 feet as well, but there are big holes rent in the walls that you can't really see until you're up close.
But I'm assuming so. So we're talking a keep with a stairwell on the outside of it, but then there's walls that are starting to crumble around the keep.
I know that the stairwell's in the very center of the keep, but the outer walls of it have been attacked by something that has left enough gaps for you to see through.
Okay, yeah.
Can I peer through the holes? Is there anything in there?
You can see the stairwell that goes up into nothingness, so you think the top of the tower has been ripped off at some point, and it seems to continue down into the depths.
So how many elves are around you?
Go, Mark.
Yeah, so from where we are now, how many elves are on the outside and I suppose these dinosaur creatures?
No elves, just the dinosaur creatures sitting on the battlements.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's about 20 of them, you said.
There are 20 of them, yes.
Okay.
But they are not apparently not looking in our direction.
Not looking in your direction, but Mia says the damage to this keep looks like it was caused by a dragon, he says.
Okay.
Dimitri has quite thought of, yes. Dragon, dwarf keep, not surprising their damage. We'll attempt to climb through the wall, like a decent gap in the wall, and to then be heading towards the keep on the inside, but also have a look on the inside of the walls to see if there's any convenient ways of climbing to the top of the walls where the pterodactyls are.
Well, looking in, you can see that the stairs lead up to a landing on the floor that's closest to the jagged edges, and you think that's probably where they would stage to get onto the pterodactyls. It doesn't look particularly secure, so it might need some nimbleness to get up there.
But the stairs actually also go down. Like, we don't have to get to the top in order to get into and down the keep. Is that right?
The stairs also go down. And looking at the inside, it does have what appears to be acid damage on the inside of the keep. The northern wall has a hole big enough for you to take a horse through.
Would Zadris know what kind of dragon would have caused acid damage to something?
He says most likely an earth dragon.
That's right.
One of the green dragons, he says.
Green. Okay.
Could even have been one of the metallic ones. You might have gotten upset.
Okay.
He hopes it wasn't one of the gemstone ones, because they're a terrifying thought to have appear.
Okay. I don't know about you, but I can't squeeze through these tiny holes. So Zadris is gonna kind of shuffle around towards the
big gap.
The big gap.
Well, okay, yeah, I'm assuming that yes, there are holes of various sizes. So basically, yeah, if we go to a hole that will allow passage, that's what we're really looking for. So, if necessary, or if it looks like it'll be a long walk either way, then potentially Trellin or Dimitri can stealth around the edge to find the closest decent hole. The concentration spells you have to maintain within line of sight of the target.
No, just as long as you concentrate. I think they just have to be within your area of effect.
Yeah, so it could be either of them, but the intent being we basically won't necessarily stop like we'll peek, we'll stop as soon as we get to the outside of the wall, peek through, look at the fact that, okay, we've got to get down the stairwell, we'll move around a bit further to find a hole that's big enough to get through.
Okay, what are people's passive perceptions as you're entering through the hole?
17.
Passive perception, 20 for Dimitri.
So my passive perception, Martin's been a while.
Is 10 plus your perception modifier.
Basically, it's a perception roll in which you roll 10.
Yeah, 15.
And how about Plowman?
Yeah, the help the phone unmuted himself. 14.
Okay, so
Hey, he's still affected by the silent spell that never happened.
so as a couple of you are coming through, Dimitri notices that there seems to be a twinkling of light coming from the landing at the top of the stairs.
Dimitri will encourage the others to pause in their movement while he takes a closer look at the twinkling. Are we talking twinkling of a spyglass, twinkling of magic, twinkling of gold?
I will give you make it a nature check.
Nature. Nature plus 6. 13.
Okay, so it does remind you of a fey light.
Is it at all reminiscent of the apparent pretty lights that attracted the attention of Plowman and Bradshaw on their way here?
It feels a lot older.
Okay.
Whereas the lights that distracted you felt more like mortal magic.
Okay. In which case then, Dimitri will aim to wave the others forward while he continues to monitor that light at this stage. And then he'll aim to, assuming there's no reaction or thing from it as the others go forward, he'll then aim to bring up the rear with maintaining the stealth for everyone. He basically walks in those lights while others are moving.
Okay, so while you're watching, as people start to head down, I'm assuming, you hear a scream from above, and while the sun has started to set, a burst of light appears up there, and you hear the sound of flapping of wings as the creatures seem to flee the battlements.
Fleeing the battlements?
Mm-hmm.
Not taking flight. Okay.
Because you can hear screeching heading off into the distance in all directions.
I think, how far down would you say Zadros is that set of stairs?
You'd probably just gone down a couple of stairs by that stage.
Oh, okay. So Zadros is going to kind of peer his head over and try and get an idea of what's, caused them all to scatter.
There is a bright light coming from the top of the tower.
Okay.
You can almost hear what sounds like a choir from up above. Very faint.
Quiet. Does anyone else hear that?
Well, basically, probably at that time, Dimitri will have scurried across stealthily to the keep, catch up with the others, and then watch what's happening, and state that it looks like we timed our entry well. The lizards were distracted by, friend of a friend by so enemy by enemy by friend.
Mhm.
Take cover. We'll move on.
Okay. Dimitri also noticed that one of the creatures that had headed off in his direction had hit the ground heavily nearby and is currently smoking in the darkness.
Mm-hmm. Not moving.
Moving just looked like he got hurt by whatever had caused the light on the top of the tower.
Yeah. Well, as I said, Dimitri's describing it as enemy of our enemy, and that.
I will have.
However, it may be worth taking a position whereby the screeching of the beast may well have alerted the elves to come up the staircase. So be prepared.
Guys, I do apologise. I have to head off. I've just got to stand here.
We understand. We'll catch you next time, David.
Yeah, so good to see you guys again. Hi Angus, nice to meet you. Sorry for the progress that we didn't make.
No, it's
Thanks,
alright.
Plumman skips the fight that's about to happen.
Yeah, he's got his horse at the time, doesn't he, too? Yeah.
Well, he's got his horse now.
Well,
Oh, and that's horse anyway.
if he had his horse, why would he be fighting?
Mm.
Exactly. Alright guys, good luck.
Bye.
Thanks, good to see you again, Dave.
Bradshaw would watch the stairs going down. I'm just watching, make sure that he's coming up. And I assume Jeremy's watching the
Xandros
light.
can make a nature roll.
Nature?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. 24.
Okay, so you recognize the sounds of a nature fae. Creature from the Feywild.
Yeah. I guess I'll kind of yell out, Nature Fae, did you say?
Yell.
It's a Nature Fae song. I knew I recognized.
That's what I said.
Heard it, but
Enemy of our enemy.
I fear the enemy of our enemy may still be our enemy.
Well, it sounds like it's in distress.
Okay.
Dimitri didn't actually say, didn't finish it with the enemy of our enemy, our friend. He said enemy of our enemy.
In that case, if it's in distress, Xandros is going to kind of subtly, just kind of like carefully approach, kind of head towards the source of the sound.
So you're aiming to go back up the stairs, like up to the top of the keep? Is that your process?
I was already kind of like halfway up the stairs, or like halfway on the stairs anyway, so continuing up.
I got the impression that
You were starting down,
we've gone to ground level, you started to go down.
and
Yeah.
now he's heading up instead of down.
Yeah.
That's right.
So I'll hold the down bit. Bradshaw will just sit watching downstairs, make sure that he's coming up. And if you guys want to investigate, I'm happy to stay here with Clown or something. So.
Yeah, okay. Well, Dimitri, having tried to not make the druid aware of the nature fae on top of the tower, he realised he hasn't quite worked. So he will go. He will follow the turtle up the stairs.
Okay, so reaching the top, you see what looks to be a shining elf shackled to the top of the tower.
Okay. Is there anything like
And
special?
all the pterodactyls have gone.
They have all gone, and she's putting out so much light that she's almost painful to look at.
Is there anything special about the shackles, or do they just look like classic kind of iron?
You can see the shackles are glowing in the with faint runes shimmering in the light.
And does the fae appear to be in pain as such, or just effectively screaming to cause the effect?
Mm-hmm.
Well, looking at it, you can sort of see the areas where the shackles touches her is all burned, and she's covered in bruises.
I don't speak Sylvan, so this is going to be super fun.
Hey, Druid, who doesn't speak Sylvan?
I know. Without using word, I'm going to try and I guess raise my hands, kind of not quite as a surrender, but like show I mean them no harm. And I'm going to gesture towards the shackles, and I guess give the impression of if I get rid of these, are you gonna attack me?
We get to see how well you can do it. A persuasion check.
Oh, this is gonna be so much fun. Because okay, so you've unshackled things. Persuasion. Okay. Can I use my wisdom and kind of knowledge that the Fae?
I will give your wisdom to your thing for this, because that's about the only reason you're getting persuasion check.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you're doing a lot of hand gestures and
yeah. So this will be. Hang on. This will be interesting. So it's a. That's a 12.
So 12. She doesn't seem to be understanding your gestures.
Okay.
Maybe it's the large hands. But you do have a skilled talker right next to you. Is this where you drag Dimitri and point?
Yeah. I turn and there's as much as a strange reptile turtle face can look. I can't believe I have to do this. Dimitri, do you speak Sylvan or Elven? Or Sylvan specifically?
Dimitri will try Elven first. He's more skilled in Elven.
Okay.
Yeah, Bradshaw's also knows Elven too, just for your reference.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
give me...
okay. Bradshaw knows Elven because Dimitri taught him.
That's right. Doesn't mean
The same way Dimitri taught him Dwarven.
No, you didn't teach that.
So Jeremy, give me a persuasion check.
Don't make
Oh! Natural 20, so 19.
Ow.
What? So you tell me I've got more persuasion? Oh no, this is very worrying.
Okay, so she seems
Well,
to...
I should point out that I still haven't actually updated Dimitri under the level up rules yet. So his charisma probably will go up significantly when I actually do that. But at the moment, he's still an 8.
Okay, so she does seem to calm down, and she does point out that she has been trapped by dimensional shackles.
Okay. Dimitri, do you communicate that to me?
Okay, yeah.
Alright.
Yep. Not surprisingly, the shackles are holding her in place, noting that she's not necessarily of this world. Does Dimitri know the most convenient way to break dimensional shackles?
Can I cast Dispel Magic on them?
You could, but there's no guarantee it will shut down.
Okay.
Magical items may shut down for a moment, but most likely pop back up again. And most of them are made out of adamantine, which means that even if you do turn off the magic,
they're still
shackled.
Yeah.
And some of it can be treated in the way of cold iron to make it painful to various beings.
Okay.
Particularly the Fae.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Dimitri's going to come forward and have a look and examine the shackles to try and determine the most efficient way of destroying them or releasing them.
Okay, give me an Arcana check. Because it is a rare item, you do have a good chance of knowing how to do so.
Do we... this is to the party. Do we still want to keep Pass Without Trace up?
It's probably not vital anymore.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to cast Guidance.
I don't think Guidance is a concentration spell.
I think it is.
Right.
It's concentration up to a minute.
So it's concentrate. So you got 21 on your thing. You recognise that 28. You recognise that the dimensional shackles require either a person designated as when you lock it, or a strength check to destroy.
Can't help with either of those.
It's a lot harder for the creature within it to break free than for others to break them free.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the DC is 30 to break it if you're shackled, or 20 for someone else to break it.
I got a negative to strength, so don't look at me.
Okay, so at this point, I will point out that our dwarf below has a +10 to his check.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you want me up there? Yeah, get me up there if you want me. I'm just going to keep watching the door upstairs, downstairs.
Yeah, that's right. I actually got a good look through Dimitri's equipment type stuff and confirm these appropriate tools or things like that to cut through. It's not something that the lock can be picked.
There is no lock. That's the magic.
Right.
It's designed to be. You can open it as a simple action if you are a designated person for the lock, or you have to destroy the item.
Okay, yeah. I'm gonna lean over the edge and just like, Bradshaw, muscles up here.
Well, I was going to say, Dimitri will say to Catholic, duck downstairs and tell Bradshaw to come up.
Yelling still works.
Quiet, so don't yell.
Okay, so look, if I get tapped on the shoulder, I'm about to get the hammer out and go, oh, sorry. And then I go, oh, okay, and then I get just upstairs, I come upstairs and go, okay, what do you want, Dimitri?
Apparently,
obviously, Dimitri's aware that it makes much more sense for him to send someone else to go and tell Bradshaw to come up rather than him to go himself.
Okay, so you're now upstairs with Dimitri and a luminous elf that is currently shackled to the top of the tower.
We're looking. Okay, we believe that the innocent can be freed.
Okay. Oh, so I explain
Give it a whack.
I explain to Elvis what I'm going to do to the Elvis looking creature. And saying, be gentle, just hold on, don't move. And then I'll try to see if I can use my strength to.
I'll give you guidance on this as well.
Okay. Yeah. So give me an athletics check. Guidance, I think, gives
D4.
you...
Oh, you want athletics check?
Okay.
Athletics check.
Normal. Yeah.
I thought you were going to do a strength check. Okay.
It's an athletics check because it is...
You're effectively manipulating tools to make it most effective.
Okay. Now, what's guidance give me? Is it extra 4 or something? Or?
Guidance gives you an extra D4.
Okay.
Is your character... yeah, we don't know your specializations yet. We'll get there.
My background's a soldier, but that's about it. So. Yeah. I'm not going to specializations or anything.
Each skill can have a specialty.
Okay. No, I've got a fluency in athletics, so that's plus 10 to that, so...
And so 10 plus a D4 plus a D20.
D4...
You're looking for a target 20.
No, spare me off. Can you roll D4 for me, Martin? I can't find it. Please.
Where are my D4s? Here it is. I got you a 2.
That's 18 total. I had a really bad D4
So, Bradshaw, as he said, come.
It's here, Bradshaw.
Okay, I'll try again.
Okay. Unfortunately, guidance, you'd have to go back up the stairs and cast it again.
But that's okay, because you've got the meeting telling you where to hit now.
23 plus guidance.
Which sends out...
guidance. You get Dimitri.
Oh, you get Dimitri. Okay, apparently Dimitri told you the right spot. The shackles just turned to dust in your hand.
Okay. There's just one shackle I have to do? Or
it destroys the entire set of shackles because it is a magical set.
Okay. I try to help the elven creature up if she's still the soul.
So that's what she looks like.
Okay, cool.
And for your perspective, that's what she looks like.
No red hair. I'm not interested. Yeah.
Well, she's not halfling.
No, it's red hair. You should know this one.
And when she stands up, you realise that she stands about 11 feet tall.
Wow. You're tall.
Dimitri's well aware of Bradshaw's for pure red hair. That's why he likes Dimitri so much.
I say you're very tall, and that's about it when she gets up.
Okay. She does thank you.
How long have you been trapped here?
She's been trapped here for 10 years.
And who enslaved you?
The Scattenhalfen.
They have been here for 10 years, or did you arrive after they arrived?
They had taken her partner, and while trying to free her partner, she was captured 10 years ago and left on top of this place where it gets dark.
She's not a fan of the dark, huh?
No, she is a creature of the light and spends most of darkness in the Feywild.
Do you know if your partner is likely still below?
She says
Likely still alive?
her partner has passed on since she was captured. She believes that her partner was killed after she was taken, was kept alive and tortured to bring her here.
Did you manage to get below before you were captured, or were you captured up top here?
I was captured by the Blood Elves just at the level below. In the food cellar.
Have you seen how many Blood Elves, how many they might be expecting in the immediate level below us?
She believes an entire clan has come here, so she expects there to be about 10 to 20,000. They've used her as They've used her as a beacon to guide them back at night to the tower.
Sorry, she was saying that her light is used as a beacon.
Yep.
Have they left in the evening?
They normally come back at night. They've learnt that others can't see as well in the dark as they can.
But so when you're saying come back, you're saying that they're out in the world at the moment, or they're going to come back from below?
Both. This is their time of entry and departure.
Okay,
So she wishes you luck, and then just seems the light just goes out.
Well, that's helpful.
So Demetrius was about to say, well, yes, we should to take the opportunity to remove the beacon then, if you are fit to return to your land.
And
then,
but behind where she left is a little glowing diamond.
I'll pick it up.
Feels warm.
Okay. Is there anything immediately obvious about it, apart from it that it's glowing?
You could probably create light with it.
Okay.
Gem of brightness.
Gem of brightness, okay. Cheers.
Well, okay, I would suggest that we return below then, if we're expecting potential scat elves returning and also departing. I think we want to try and find a spot that is not stuck on a stairwell halfway down.
And I think as you journey down, we will finish the session with you heading down into the cellar.
Marvellous.
As we then find out what happens next fortnight, because it's a fortnight.
Well, obviously we get drunk if we go into the cellar.
But it is nice to bring
out
out interesting characters. Yep. So I will put it on end credits if you want to stay around and chat. That's up to you. So I will be back shortly, or I will see you next game.